Southampton and Stoke in this, the fourth round of the EFL Cup. We're rough and underway here on 5 Live. Sheffield Wednesday change ship, all in black, kicking from right to left. Then their supporters, and a number of them have travelled down, are in the far... Listen to them. That's Sheffield Wednesday fans you can hear away in the very right-hand corner as we look at it, far side from us. And the ball is at the feet of Piers Charles, who is one of the best kickers, I am told, coming through in football as a youngster. And he kicks the ball 80 yards upfield, straight to Mark Flecken, the Brentford goalkeeper. But I'm very interested in watching this kid in goal here today, Mark.
Well, he's done really well playing for Northern Ireland more recently in the international break. Kept 2 clean sheets. So it's going to be a really interesting position for him to be tonight, having a challenge against a Premier League side.
Who cleared away into the heart of their midfield. And Jensen looks long away to that left-hand side. And they can't quite keep it in with Keane Lewis Potter on that left end for Brentford. He's an ever-present this season. He's played in both the League Cup games they've played, scored against Colchester in this competition. They beat them away 1-0, and then they had that topsy-turvy game against Leyton Orient here when they were behind early on but won it 3-1. Sheffield Wednesday in possession. Svante Ingelsson has swung a very strange ball, looped it up across the face of his defensive trio, but Sheffield Wednesday do clear to the fair-haired Nathan Collins of Brentford. And here's Ben Mee, great folk hero here for the Brentford fans. Had his ankle injury problems last season, only played 3 games this campaign. 2 of those have come in this competition. He's really one of the game's most likeable characters, Ben Mee. You'll have to hear him on 5 Live as well, and he has good opinions. Here's Janelt now in the heart of that midfield for Brentford, and away it goes to Jayden Magoma. Quite a fair few of you won't know of him. He's 18 years of age. He's a current England under-19. He was at Tottenham as a kid and then signed from Southampton in the summer for just under £6 million. Well, keep an eye out on him tonight for you. I think it's going to be trickier than many Brentford fans think, even though Sheffield Wednesday have made the 9 changes. I
think so as well. I mean, it's all about a mindset, isn't it, for Brentford? It's about the way they approach this game. You can see already Sheffield Wednesday are more than happy to play a really high-pressing game and a high line.
Talking about nice men in the game, Mark Schwarzer obviously, Ben Mee another one, and Chrissy Powell, our old friend Chrissy Powell, who isn't here today, Sheffield Wednesday coach. He with a little bit more important things on today. He picked up his MBE at Windsor Castle, so many congratulations. What a wonderful day for his family, and what a wonderful servant he's been to the game, and many congratulations to him. I think his manager Danny Rawl might have expected him to be here actually, despite being with royalty today, but that was never going to happen, was it? Now it's angled forward for Brentford and the run into the penalty area. But looking for Sharda, it slips all the way through to Piers Charles, whose brother is also at Sheffield Wednesday. They're not in the matchday squad today. And he'll get it away. He's only 19. He comes from Manchester, was on Manchester City's books, signed in the summer of 2020. And he recently, as Mark was saying, played for Northern Ireland against Belarus and Bulgaria, kept clean sheets in both. And really highly thought of. Janelt rises in that midfield for Brentford, plays back then to Jayden Magoma. Not the biggest, he's 5'9", but he's playing alongside some towering defenders back there. Nathan Collins and Sepp Vandenberg, for example, 6'4". Here's Mbeumo on the right-hand side for Brentford in the orange boots. Tried to bring it under control, loses out back to the halfway line. We've got action from Southampton Stoke, and here's Chris White.
And a goal for Southampton. 19 minutes in, they're ahead against Stoke. Taylor Harwood-Bellis with the corner, with the header from a corner, 6 yards out. He scored in the last round against Everton. Another one tonight for Saints. Southampton 1, Stoke 0.
Thank you very much, Chris. Wales against Slovakia, half-time in that Euro playoff second leg. Charlie Slater can update us.
Wales 1, Slovakia 0. Wales all-time leading goal scorer Jess Fishlock adding to her tally. Smart little dink down the right of the box. Really could be more though. As it is, 1-0 on the night, 2-2 on aggregate. If it stays this way at full time, extra time and penalties will decide which nation progresses to a final Euros qualifier.
Against Ireland or Georgia, I believe that will be. Ireland 1-0 up earlier against Georgia, which puts them 7-0 up on aggregate, so I'm not very much whether Georgia will be coming back from there, but you never know. It's a strange old game, isn't it, as someone once said. Here's Sepp Vandenberg, then the summer signing from Liverpool, tall, upright, wearing the pink boots. Infield to Nathan Collins. He was their record signing when he joined from Wolves last summer for 23 million. It's 0-0 on 5 Live, and it's a big diagonal from the back for Brentford, too far forward for Keane Lewis-Potter, and it slips away and out of play.
Yeah, Brentford are going to have to get those sort of passes on point. The pitch is a bit slippery. The minute you overhit that a little bit, it's just going to go skidding out behind the goal, and they're going to be under pressure every time they get the ball. Whether it's been the back or midfield, you can see Sheffield Wednesday just pushing up, wanting to put pressure on the ball. They can try and win the ball high out. That's when they'll try and hit Brentford on that counter-attack.
Very interesting to hear that discussion, Andy and Kel, in the studio beforehand, talking about Danny Roll coming through as a manager, and also Thomas Frank. Similarities, they had very, very short playing careers. Thomas Frank only played amateur football with a club called Frederiksberg, and Danny Roll only had a 3-year career. Both of them then went on to get degrees, Frank in sports psychology and Roll in sports science, before they went into football and learnt up through the ranks. Here's Brentford attacking, the goal away to the right-hand side, and Bumo, the edge of the penalty area, a little step over, drags it out wide. Plenty of black-shirted Sheffield Wednesday defenders back in and around their penalty area, 7 of them working really hard there, the Championship side, at 0-0. Brentford have possession, goals coming in from League 1, Lincoln 1, Northampton 1, Stevenage 0, Bolton 2, Stockport 1, Reading 0, and in League 2, Salford are 1-0 up at Fleetwood. 0-0 here, replacing the last 8 draws. Tomorrow night, after I think it's 5 Premier League teams will go out tomorrow, all Premier League ties. But Brentford will fancy themselves here if they can get to this last 8.
Yeah, this is the time of the competition when you start to look beyond your game, thinking, okay, you look at that draw, you think 5 other Premier League clubs are going to go out, and you've got to make sure that you're in that draw and give yourself every opportunity.
More news from the Scotland game against Hungary in the Women's Euro playoffs with Charlie Slater once more.
31 minutes on the clock. Scotland have doubled their lead. Erin Cuthbert 22 yards out, a looping rocket over the top of the goalkeeper. It's helped by a deflection. 2-0 on the night, 3-0 on aggregate. Surely Scotland with 1 foot in a final Euros qualifier.
And Charlie will probably put me right, but I think they'll play Finland next.
You are correct. It was either going to be Finland or Montenegro, and you are absolutely correct, sir.
Finland won 5-0 earlier on, that's 6-0 on aggregate in that competition, to get a place in the finals next summer on 5 Live, to be held in Switzerland. Nearly 8 minutes gone here, 0-0. Sheffield Wednesday fans making it a real atmosphere with those Brentford fans away to our left-hand side, and all credit to the supporters of both teams for turning out in numbers here tonight. The average at the G-Tech is 17,000, and I don't think we are far short of what looks like could even be a sellout here tonight for a Carabao Cup game. That is tremendous.
It certainly is, yeah. They've certainly come out in force, and Sheffield Wednesday supporters have packed their end as well, so it is a good atmosphere.
Lots of kids here as well, half-term, isn't it? But parents stretched by the need to buy plastic spiders and ghosts and things this week as it goes through to Piers Charles, who will clear it away. We didn't have Halloween when I was a kid. I think it's an American invention. Anyway, Piers Charles will clear it away. Not too sure about that, but someone will put me right. A bar humbug. Anyway, Charles will clear it away on 5 Live. It's 0-0, and we'll get underway. And just, have you found Halloween?
No, I'm okay. I'm indifferent, really.
I love it, really. And it's going to be Nathan Collins who steps in for Brentford. No, he doesn't, because he's beats the ball by Ike Ugbo. To his right-hand side now is Musaba, who tries his luck with a shot, and it flies high and wide, but he did try the shot. He had confidence enough to try it. He's only 23, signed from Monaco in the summer before last, and he's one that they rate very highly. He's got speed. He'll try and beat his player with speed. Kasam on the left-hand side is a trickier sort of winger. Talking of that, it's Mbeumo now for Brentford, deep inside the Sheffield Wednesday half, plays it off to the supporting runner there with him, Fabio Carvalho, and Carvalho takes it to this right-hand touchline at 0-0 into Mbeumo, shaven-headed, bearded, orange boots, gives away the free kick. Mbeumo, 8 goals this season for him in his 10 games. What a campaign he's had, 6 first-half goals this season so far.
There's another good example there of Sheffield Wednesday being on that front foot, and Mbeumo just took his time a little bit on the ball. The minute he did his head down a little bit back towards goal, they pounced and they put him under a lot of pressure, and they win the ball back and then get the free kick as well. So just a good defending so far from Sheffield Wednesday.
Don't forget, tomorrow we'll bring you more EFL Cup commentary. Newcastle against Chelsea. Ian Dennis and Alan Shearer on 5 Live there. Now let's have news from England against South Africa. Vicky Sparks.
And England have doubled their advantage. Header by Grace Clinton down into the bottom corner. England 2, South Africa 0.
2-0 Vicky, and Brentford are ahead here against Sheffield Wednesday. Suddenly broke on the edge of the Sheffield Wednesday penalty area, and it was tapped in. Shard, I think it was, who tapped it in the end. I'll just await confirmation of that, but it broke very kindly for him, and he tucked it beyond the goalkeeper who'd advanced, and Brentford lead by a goal to 0. Shard it was.
Yeah, it was a great ball through initially, and Shard was very quick to pounce as he makes that run through. The goalkeeper does well, comes out, makes himself really big, Piers Charles, and he's really, really unlucky because he makes the block, and as the block comes out, it hits his own defender and just falls to the feet of Shard, and all he needs to do is just poke it into an open net. Very unlucky for Sheffield Wednesday, but obviously fortunate for Brentford to be 1-0 up.
Goalkeeper spread himself well, but couldn't prevent it bouncing back to Shard. It's his first of the season, first since April, and he works tremendously hard, and I think a lot of him here. Don't forget, he missed 7 months of last season following a groin operation, but the German international, he played recently for a quarter of an hour in their game against the Netherlands. It gets off and underway this season, and Brentford lead on 5 Live by a goal to 0. And they have possession again on the far side with Lewis Potter. He couldn't quite keep the ball in play. It's going to be a Brentford throw because it deflected away, but not from where they want to take it. And Magomo's pushed back 10 yards into his own half. Releases to Ben Mee, the ever-dependable Ben Mee. What a career he's had, 450 games plus now for Manchester City, Leicester on loan, Burnley and Brentford. 1-0 to Brentford on 5 Live. Mee strokes the pass out towards the far side from us. That's the Brentford there. Matthias Jensen unleashes another beautiful pass, 60 yards crossfield, and Buma has just about kept it in, but in spinning, pirouetting and keeping it in, he invited the challenge on him by Marvin Johnson, who swept it away then for a throw-in to Brentford.
Yeah, he's done well, and firstly Mbuma to keep the ball in, just manages with the end of his boot, his toenail to keep the ball in play, but Marvin Johnson was very, very quick across. He's done well so far in these opening minutes to contain Mbuma, because he's always been a threat. Every time he gets on that ball, he's just not giving him any space. Johnson's done really well.
And we get England 2-0 up in that women's friendly international against South Africa. Grace Clinton with the goal. Commentary continuing on 5 Live Sports Extra with Vicky and Rachel Brown finished, and Brentford on the attack again with Jensen getting in, and his cross sort of shot was deflected up and away over for a corner kick. It was Lewis Potter actually, who's bright on that left hand side, the 23-year-old who was signed for Hull, you remember, had to be patient. Went up with Hull from League One in 2021, rave reviews, came to Brentford for £16 million, and he's been in the first team or off the bench in every game so far this season. And Brentford have a corner kick then on the far side from us in front of the Sheffield Wednesday fans. A second goal here would make it a very difficult night for Sheffield Wednesday. Made 9 changes, hooked in towards the near post. Danger was in there, Collins was in there, so too for Brentford was Sepp Vandenberg. It was aimed at him. It nearly came through to the Dutch under-21 defender, but there was a defender who just deflected it away. And so it's another corner, Mark.
Yeah, it was a good defending from Callum Patterson. He was the one that actually had the crucial interception there. Really good challenge as the ball gets whipped into that near post area. It comes off him in the end, hence why it's another Brentford corner.
And they'll take it on that far side, and that's safely handed by Piers Charles. Mentioned Callum Patterson, the 30-year-old. They're being forced to play at right wing back today. Has played at right, has played on the right wing earlier on in his career, but he's up against Keane Lewis Potter tonight, and that could be a difficult night for him. They have very little choice there without key players. Paul Valentin, the normal right back, he's out with a ban, and they're missing other players. Ferreiro went off against Portsmouth at the weekend, the centre back, and he featured in the last 2 rounds but can't play tonight because of that suspension. Here they come though, Sheffield Wednesday, down their left hand side. It's a bright run into the penalty, a really bright by Musaba, using that pace. He drew the goalkeeper out. In the end, the touch was heavy, and Brentford cleared away rather easily. Here's Carvalho, the man brought back to London football from Liverpool in the summer, having been at Fulham, you'll remember. And it's going to be a throw to Brentford down below us on 5-line. They lead against Championship Sheffield Wednesday by a goal to nil. Done a remarkable job, Danny Roll, because Sheffield Wednesday were a mess of a club, weren't they, when he took over, let's be honest.
Very much so, and you can see how they are right now. They're very well organised, very high tempo, a lot of energy all over the park. Got some exciting young players as well. They're playing a high line against Brentford. That's how they came unstuck with the first goal.
Lewis Potter plays into the penalty area. It's angled across looking for Mbeumo and just about cleared away. Back to Lewis Potter, who skied the shot. Got underneath it, looks down at a bobble or an imaginary one. It cleared the bar by about 4 or 5 feet, and the post as well, the far post, by about 5 or 6 feet. Well wide, still 1-0.
Yeah, again, good defending from Marvin Johnson. He's the one that makes that vital interception from the cross as it gets whipped across that 6-yard box. It does fall to a Brentford player who just absolutely gets it horribly wrong and skies it over the crossbar.
And Charles in goal, took an extra touch, then plays out to the feet of Ugbo, coming short back into his own half. Here's Gabriel Otabayo on the ball, wearing 33s, 19, comes from Cork, only his 3rd game. He did well, looked quite composed in there, slipped it through into the midfield, where it's edged away by Orford towards that far side. Here's a promising run, Patterson away on that right-hand side, trundling down the line, and Brentford deflect the ball off him. Then he cannons it off him to force a goal kick, and Brentford will take this at their leisure. On Danny Roll, he only, as I say, only played for 3 years, but they'd already targeted his coaching ability when he was at Leipzig University, and he went into Leipzig, the youth team setup, as a video analyst. Then he became the youth assistant manager, the under-17 assistant manager. He went to the first team, but as a video analyst, before becoming assistant manager under Ralph Hasenhüttl, and moved on to Southampton. But he had to study all that time, the analysis of the game. This is a good run forward for Brentford again, up that left-hand side, where they're making inroads deep into the Sheffield Wednesday territory. He's just run out of play. He's bold with the ball, isn't he, Kevin Shard? He's very front foot.
Yeah, he is. He certainly is. He's got the ball. He's confident with the ball at his feet, wants to try and manoeuvre his way, muscle his way past players. Almost did on that occasion, just ran out a little bit of space. But going back to Danny Roll and his sort of rise into management, I mean, he did start off as a video analysis. He did work under Ralph Rangnick as well as Hasenhüttl as well. So yeah, there's a lot of work that's gone into it, and they've obviously clearly identified him as a talented manager, and that's when he stepped up to become assistant manager at RB Leipzig.
Collins away to the right-hand touchline. Mbeumo has it, 20 yards from the dead ball line. Pulls it back then to the heart of the midfield for Brentford, where it's switched away. Collins just nudges it forward to Jensen. Now Janelt wearing the blue boots, out to Mbeumo, hugging the line again. Mbeumo puts it onto his left foot, crosses into the middle. It's come all the way through. Lewis Potter, that's a fine save by Piers Charles, and away for a corner kick.
Yeah, he does really well, Piers Charles, because he needed to make sure that he timed his jump to perfection, because the ball was looping as it come off Lewis Potter. It just sort of looped up in the air, looked like it was going to sort of drop into that far post area, into the goal. But he does well, Piers Charles. Times his jump, and he gets 2 hands on it and puts away the ball for safety.
Ball will take for Southampton on this right-hand side. So looking into the penalty area, Jensen is in there for Brentford. Lewis Potter is in there. The 2 centre-halves are up in Collins and Vandenberg. Ben Mee in there as well. In comes the corner kick, and it's a decent header away at the back for Sheffield Wednesday. Clearance from Ingelsson, I think, big Svante Ingelsson, the Swedish under-21 international. Brentford have it, and we've got a penalty at Southampton against Stoke with Chris Wise.
And they're leading 1-0 Southampton through that Taylor Harwood-Bellis goal, and they've got a chance to make it 2-0 here. Adam Armstrong, their captain tonight, stood over the penalty. Jack Bonham is the Stoke City keeper, facing him up. This is to put the Premier League side 2-0 up, and they've been totally dominant as well in these first 35 minutes. Here comes Armstrong, arms down by either side. Great penalty, sends the keeper the wrong way into his bottom right-hand corner. Southampton 2, Stoke 0.
That'll ease the pressure on the management down there as well. Russell Martin won't change the way he plays, by the way, and he believes in it, and he believes it'll take them eventually away from trouble at the bottom end of the table. Now here's little Jayden Magoma for Brentford, looking for the 1-2 with Sharda, speeds off after it, draws across Saiorfa, who goes to ground on the far side from us, and the referee blows.
Yeah, I think he gets his legs clipped, doesn't he? It is a clear foul. But it was a good little move again from Brentford. This time Sheffield Wednesday dealt with the quick 1-2 down the left-hand side.
Tomorrow night I was talking about the Newcastle-Chelsea game. When that's finished, we'll have the second half of Tottenham-Manchester City on 5 Live. The first half of that is on 5 Live Sports Extra tomorrow. 5 Sports Extra with Leon Osman there working with Mark Scott in the commentary box. Saturday, Premier League returns with Liverpool-Brighton, 3 o'clock kickoff. At 5:30 it's Wolves against Crystal Palace. With you on Sunday we've got Spurs-Villa at 2 o'clock, and at 4:30 on Sunday Manchester United against Chelsea. Plenty of rugby to come as well this week. I'll tell you about that in a moment. Up goes Ben Mee, leaping on the far side then to head it away. 20 minutes gone on 5 Live, and Brentford lead with a Kevin Schade goal, and the throw will be taken then by Iorfa, who will spring into it. He's playing on the right hand side of the centre-back 3 with the teenager Otto Bio in the heart of that Sheffield Wednesday defensive trio. Throw then taken by Iorfa, who springs into the throw. Down the line it goes, and it's collected by young Jayden Magoma, who spins and lobs it to the halfway line and looks for Schade. Schade held it up and then ran into trouble, ran it into Marvin Johnson. And Marvin Johnson, the Sheffield Wednesday number 18, plays them back towards Dominic Iorfa, the 29-year-old, much-travelled defender, came from Wolverhampton Wanderers, but he'd been out on loan a couple of times before then, Shrewsbury and Ipswich, I seem to remember. Here's Johnson, back it goes then to Max Lowe, another game for him. Thought about resting him, Max Lowe, but because they've got 3 big games coming up from Saturday on another block of 3 championship games against Watford and Norwich home and Sheffield United away, but needs must, and he plays again, and he's in possession now. Lowe is playing left side of the centre-back 3, and the ball is at the feet of JD Gassama, wearing orange boots, the French under-21, actually born in Mauritania in Africa. Back it comes then to Lowe. Lowe, difficult job for him, having signed from Sheffield United in the summer, but they've taken to him okay, and now Pierce Charles has it, all in light blue inside his D, rated very, very highly. They don't expect him to be a Sheffield Wednesday player. Before very long a big club will come in for him, they believe. He's only 19, maybe 2 or 3 seasons, maybe shorter than that, so enjoy it while you can, because he's a promising goalkeeper. And Mbeumo back to Yano, slightly right of centre, 10 yards outside the box, into the penalty area it goes, looking then for Carvalho, and Brentford playing possession football on 5 Live, leading 1-0. Have the ball with Brian and Mbeumo on the right hand side. League 1 Lincoln 1, Northampton 1, 2-0 up at Stevenage. Stockport 2, Reading 1 now and there, and League 2 it's now Fleetwood 1, Salford 1. Up to date is Jensen for Brentford, the big Danish connection here of course, under Thomas Frank, when he has possession. Cultured player Jensen, tickles it up to the central midfield position. Carvalho drives it into the box, it's deflected through, in comes Lewis Potter. Quick feet by the goalkeeper again there, Mark, coming out to smother.
Yeah, it needed to be, yeah, it was the right decision, does it really well. He was very committed, very quick. It needed to be, because Lewis Potter was right there.
Charlie Slater has more from the European playoffs.
We're in Scotland, it's Scotland 2, Hungary 0, 3-0 on aggregate. Sam Kerr broke the deadlock, bit of fortune, her effort hit the bar, dropped down, bounced off the heel of the keeper and went in. The second deflected effort from Erin Cuthbert. Scotland 45 minutes from progressing to the final qualifier for a place at next summer's Euros. Scotland 3-0 up on aggregate.
What a lovely player in Cuthbert is, covers so much ground, works her socks off game in, game out. Don't forget England leading in the friendly against South Africa. Leah Williamson on 12 minutes and Grace Clinton after 23. Now Brentford have possession, leading 1-0, halfway inside the Sheffield Wednesday half. It's a good run by Mbeumo, lent the ball in to Carvalho, got it back, crosses in the middle, it misses. Schade, it comes through to Keane Lewis Potter, far side of the penalty area, steadies himself. Sheffield Wednesday, 7-8 black shirts back inside the penalty area. Brentford pull it back to Jensen, in comes across, looking in the penalty area. Collins has stayed forward, too long, goal kick, 1-0.
I'll tell you what, Gabriel Adebayo's defending there was exceptional, needed to be, full stretch, gets his toe on the end of the ball, manages to deflect the ball away from danger. Otherwise, that's 2-0 to Brentford.
Came from Burnley in the summer, Gabriel Octobio. He came to England from Cove Ramblers. Who was the last player to come to English football from Cove Ramblers? Have a think about it. Now Mbeumo has possession. I think I'm right on this. I hope I am anyway, having built it all up. Carvalho comes in off the right-hand side. Carvalho to the left, but drives wide. It's a goal kick, and Brentford lead by a goal to nil. Still the goal scored by Kevin Schade. And a little conflab there between Piers Charles and Gabriel Otigbayo. Do you know the answer to my perplexing?
I think it's Roy Keane.
I hate you.
I did get help though. I would never have known.
Sneaky producer Rob Nothland.
He did help me.
Piece of paper.
Yes.
I think it was Roy Keane. I think it was all the way through, and it's going to be cleared now by Mark Flecken. All in yellow, the Brentford goalkeeper. Box to box it went, and away another play. 1-0 to Brentford, but it's not. It's an uneasy lead in some ways.
Well, I mean, I think it's more Brentford not making the most of good position, some half-decent chances into the box, last-ditch defending from Sheffield Wednesday. That's what kept them still in this game at this moment in time. It's not like Brentford have had huge amounts of chances, it's just that really good defending.
Now it's Lewis Potter, left-hand side of the penalty, into the penalty, here he goes, sets up the shot, Carvalho arrives, shoots, it's blocked by a phalanx of Sheffield Wednesday defenders. I think one of the touches in there was off Max Lowe, and it just creeps through to Piers Charles in the goal. Good pressure there from Brentford.
Yeah, you just felt that Fabio Carvalho should have hit that first time. I think the minute he took a touch, it allowed Sheffield Wednesday's defenders to get across and make the crucial block, deflected it, and then it allowed Piers Charles to come off his line and pick up the ball as it sort of rolled towards the goal.
Otigbayo skied a clearance from the Sheffield Wednesday penalty area, also on this dead ball line, away to the left-hand touchline. Patterson couldn't keep it in. It's a throw to Brentford, who lead 1-0 on 5 Live. We're in the Rugby Union Weekly this week. There's a special feature-length interview with the South African head coach Rassie Erasmus at their training camp in Jersey. That's ahead of the Autumn International, so make sure you listen to that. And we've got a 5 Live Rugby show on Thursday night looking ahead to those Autumn Internationals from 7:30. Commentary of England, New Zealand from 3 on Saturday the 2nd of November on 5 Sports Extra, and then Scotland Fiji from 5:15. Rugby coming your way, all this football this week as well, with the Carabao Cup and then Champions League and Europa League Conference. Back with us next week. Here's Jensen, swings a good ball away towards Lewis Potter. They are finding their mark with their passing, Brentford, and Sheffield Wednesday not really intense with their pressure on them when they're on the ball. Brentford, who find Bumo now on the right touchline, into Collins, who tried a little back heel return pass. It didn't come off to him, and Piers Charles now clears, angles his body so that he can get a good clearance away towards the left touchline, and the pace of Gassama against Collins. Whistle blows, gone out of play I think, and it's going to be a throw to Brentford, taken by Collins into his centre-back partner Ben Mee. 1-0 to Brentford on 5. Mark Schwarzer.
Yeah, it was unfortunate as Gassama there. He did really well initially, just couldn't keep the ball in play because he had the pace, and you can see Nathan Collins there was a little bit worried about him.
Mark, who played so famously, so very, very well, just down the road at Craven Cottage, Fulham. And Brentford have possession. Here's Janelt. Back then it goes to Ben Mee. Mee puts his foot on the ball, white boots, fair hair. In it comes, a lovely touch up there from Schade. Carvalho has it, direct run in the penalty area. Did he try one trick too many when he had Mbumo available on the right-hand side? Because Sheffield Wednesday got a defender back and clear it away quite effortlessly in the end. Big chance that, Mark.
Yeah, it was. Carvalho, I think he took a little bit too long. He took that one extra touch. He should have. I think actually Lewis Potter was probably the better option. He was closer to him, just to his left-hand side. And Mbumo was a little bit far out on the right-hand side. Probably difficult for Carvalho to see, but it was a chance.
And Mbumo off and running into the penalty. Carvalho tried to find him, and it's just squeezed away by Max Lowe. Sheffield Wednesday under pressure again. Away it comes then to Ugbo, holds it up deep inside his own half, I have to say. Plays back to Jedi Gassama. Again, very deep inside his own half, no more than 25 yards from the dead ball line on this right-hand touch, and he's pushed by Nathan Collins, and it's a free kick then to Sheffield Wednesday, who are digging in deep here at 1-0 down, 1 defeat in 6. They've only conceded 10 goals in a run of 10 games here. They've only scored 10 in that time. As I said, they're not a possession-based team at the moment. And if it goes to penalties, which don't forget it might well do if it's level at the 90, I don't think Sheffield Wednesday have scored a penalty since the spring of 2023 in promotion year. I can't remember them getting one last season. They haven't had one this season, I don't think. got a goal at Southampton on the other hand against Stoke City. And here's Chris Wise.
And it's gone to Stoke. It's Southampton 2, Stoke 1. Southampton have been completely dominant in this first 45 minutes. But story of their season, there's a fallibility. Mind you, it's a great finish from Ashley Phillips, the Spurs loanee. He's flicked it in with his heel from about 6 yards out. First goal for him. Southampton 2, Stoke 1. We're in first half stoppage time.
Southampton led through Harwood Bellis and an Armstrong penalty in that game. Brentford have possession inside their own half. Here's Ben Mee. He brings the ball comfortably under his control, finds Janelt in midfield. Very underrated, Vitaly Janelt in there, the German under-21 Euro title winner in 2021. He's under the radar a little bit, but he's very highly thought of by Thomas Frank in this side. League ever present, therefore, for them this season. Has it back again, Janelt. Halfway inside the Sheffield Wednesday half. Tall, angular, blue-booted, left hand raised, balancing himself, plays back to Ben Mee, calm on the ball, hands down by his side, left foot instep pass, just shuttled away to Collins, and on it goes then towards this near side, and set Vandenberg. Vandenberg back to the fair-haired, broad-shouldered Collins. Into the heart of midfield it goes again, left-hand side. Janelt at 1-0 to Brentford on 5 Live on the BBC. And the scuttling figure of Jayden Magoma now looks for options, leaves it at the feet of Janelt. Magoma might have taken it on a stride. Janelt apologised to him, and then Janelt swings a lovely crossfield switch play ball. No, it's not a lovely ball, it's too high, and it goes out of play for a throw-in. 1-0 Brentford, Mark.
That's what Sheffield Wednesday have done so far in this first half pretty well, is that applying the pressure, not giving Brentford a lot of time on the ball. When Brentford then look to play that switch ball, because Mbeumo a lot of the time is on, but the ball has to be absolutely spot on to reach him. In that case, in this instance, it's just slightly overhit and goes out of play.
So scores on the doors for you in the other game in this competition. Southampton leads Stoke by 2-1. I'll break off because Mbeumo brings the ball under control. Difficult ball to control. That takes it out towards the touchline, and there's a decent enough challenge on him by Max Lowe. It's going to be a Brentford throw-in on this near side. In League 1, Lincoln 1, Northampton 1, Stevenage 0, Bolton 2. It's now Stockport 3, Reading 1, and in League 2, Fleetwood 1, Salford 1. It's going to be a long throw, I fancy, here for Brentford. Will it be a long throw by Janssen, the Danish international? He's got Mbeumo on the edge of the penalty area. That's the left-hand edge of the Sheffield Wednesday penalty. Carvalho is just there with him as well. King Lewis Potter then trots back into the middle. Sharda attacks the edge of the 6-yard area. It is going to be long here. Long and slung into the penalty. A little flick on at the near post. Nearly came to the far post as well from Collins head on. Now Jayden Magoma has it. Magoma for Brentford will look to get a cross in here for them. In it whips, looking for Collins, who'd stayed forward. Sheffield Wednesday half cleared away, drops on the edge of the penalty. Should be cleared here now by Gassama, who loops it up in the air, brings the ball under control. He's got a nice turn of pace there, and he's bowled down to the ground, pushed over by Sharda. Free kick to Brentford in the Women's European Playoff first round second leg games. Wales leads Slovakia by a 1-0. Fishlock scoring that. What a wonderful player she's been. That's 2-2 on aggregate. The winners play the winners of Ireland against Georgia. Ireland 1-0 up, 7-0 on aggregate they lead. Scotland 2-0 up against Hungary. That's 3-0 on aggregate. They'll play Finland. And Northern Ireland, I think it was 0-0 the last we heard, so that's 1-1 on aggregate there. But we'll update you as we get more in. Still 0-0 in that game. Half-time at Southampton. Here's Chris White.
Southampton 2, Stoke 1. Their lead should be more commanding. Taylor Harwood, Bellis and Adam Armstrong with the penalty to put Saints 2-0 up. But that goal from Ashley Phillips of the Championship side, Stoke, right on half-time, has made this interesting again. Southampton 2, Stoke 1.
Brentford cleared away. We've been playing how long now? 34 minutes on 5 Live, and that goal seems a long while ago now from Kevin Sharda, who put Brentford ahead. With a lovely ball through to him, he sprinted in on goal. His first effort was blocked by young Piers Charles, the 19-year-old Sheffield Wednesday goalkeeper who's been an ever-present in this competition so far this season. Broke back, and Sharda tickled it home. Sheffield Wednesday have the ball now. Just the far side of the centre circle. Sean Fuziri there, the Zimbabwe qualified Sheffield-born midfield player. Has possession. Fuziri spun the ball with the outside of his boot away to Marvin Johnson, just to the left of the centre circle, a couple of yards inside the Brentford half to Max Lowe, the 27-year-old former England under-20 international, and they're forced backwards Great pressure by Brentford, but there was nothing on for them up front, so they go back once again to the goalkeeper. He rolls out to Max Lowe, and on it goes then towards Otto Bayer. Crashed forward on the left and on the right hand side by Patterson, and it comes through to Magoma, and Brentford pick up possession once again. Been the pattern of play really in the last 10 minutes or so.
It has been. I mean, I think it was a decent ball forward from Patterson. Musaba just couldn't get on the end of it, couldn't control the ball as he misses it, and it goes through to Brentford defenders. And all of a sudden again you find Sheffield Wednesday trying to get that block together, making sure that they keep their high line, put pressure on the ball. The minute any of the centre halves come a little bit further forward, they're looking to apply some pressure and trying to win the ball high up the pitch.
Half time in the Lionesses game, England leads South Africa by 2 goals, and that game is live on 5 Extra, don't forget, with Vicky Sparks and Rachel Brown-Finnis in the commentary box. And we'll have commentary of the Brazilian Grand Prix on Sunday from 5 on 5 Sports Extra. Max Verstappen's lead 47 points over Lando Norris with 4 races remaining in this year's Drivers' Championship. Free kick for Brentford for offside. On the right hand side it'll be taken then by the tall figure of Southend-born Dominic Iorfa, who will clear it forward to the halfway line, where it's edged back here to the powerful runners. Svante Ingleson carried it 10 yards, then releases to his left hand side. Gassama has it, rolling in field with his orange boots. He's a talented player, Gassama, loves his trickery to beat a defender, then plays out towards the right. Iorfa had to stretch, and he's long and lean, and even 6'2" Dominic Iorfa couldn't stretch enough, and as he got to the ball at the full stretch, he simply cannoned it up into the far end, the Brentford supporters, into about row Z, and ironic cheers from the Brentford fans. It wasn't the most gracious piece of football you've ever seen. We've got an update from that Wales-Slovakian women's playoff second leg. Charlie Slater once again.
Where Wales thought they'd turned it round, Jess Fishlock scored, but it was ruled out for offside in the build-up. They are leading by 1-0 on the night against Slovakia. It's 2-2 on aggregate, so as it stands, we are heading for extra time and then possibly penalties, but Wales are knocking at the door.
Well, you're earning your money tonight, Charlie. If they pay you, of course. Let's hope they do. If things have changed, you never know. It's away on that left-hand side. We can all be confident, though. And it's Keane Lewis Potter then for Brentford, trotting in from that left touchline. Started the game really well. It's very cultured and matured this season a lot. I mean, he's 23 now, Lewis Potter, but he's looked a little bit young at times to Brentford. He looks really composed out there, I think, Mark, on that left-hand side.
Yeah, he's had lots of opportunity with the ball at his feet. He actually has caused Sheffield Wednesday a number of problems down the left-hand side. And at the moment, obviously, you know, wants every opportunity when they do go forward to get on the ball as much as possible.
Jensen for Brentford, 10 yards inside the Sheffield Wednesday half, left-hand side from us. Played in flat then towards Sharda, coming away from goal, spins, tried to push it into Lewis Potter, maybe Carvalho, who was blocked off there actually as he tried to make the run through. Gabriel Otegbaye once again showing good awareness, the tall defender. And Brentford have possession inside their own half, just outside the penalty, and Mark Flecker rolls it to Jensen. Matthijs Jensen coming deep, facing his own goal, and spins and pummels a great ball into the Sheffield Wednesday half with his good defending on the runner there. The runner was Brian Mbumo, and really well defended by Marvin Johnson, who went with him shoulder to shoulder, blocked off his route through. It's a goal kick.
No, I think he's done really well in this first half. Marvin Johnson, I think he's dealt with Mbumo very, very well, and on that occasion was exceptional. Didn't dive in, just stayed with him on his shoulder the entire time, put pressure on him, on Mbumo, gave him a little bit of a nudge shoulder to shoulder, and as he's doing so, Mbumo just runs out of room and runs the ball into touch.
Sheffield Wednesday cleared to Patterson, the right wing back, who twists his head, heads inside then towards the pacey Anthony Moussa, who skipped beyond one challenge, but the pace was too much for him to retain possession, and it's a Brentford throw to be taken by Jaden Magoma. Didn't quite make it at Tottenham, went down to Southampton, thought highly enough there, and off he comes then to Brentford. Played 4 games for the Saints last season, I think. Here's Me, brings it down, chest control. Swivels, pushes back to Magoma, 1-0 to Brentford on 5 Live, 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. Nathan Collins, right-footed, squirts it away then to Ben Mee, 10 yards inside his own half. Straight ball up towards Lewis Potter, allowed to turn. and bringing in Magoma on that left touchline. Again, he's advanced deep inside the Sheffield Wednesday territory. Has Janot in support, and so too Fabio Carvalho. Angles the pass to the right-hand side, and Brian Mbeumo brings it under control. They're standing off him, Sheffield Wednesday. Had 3 black-shirted defenders about 3 yards off him. So he comes back to Collins. Then they've worked the space very well, Brentford. Now Mbeumo to run his man. Runs against Marvin Johnson. Into the penalty. Let's fly. Spins away off the goalkeeper. Wouldn't come quite out to Magoma. And Sheffield Wednesday force a corner by driving it against the young left-back, taking the deflection goal kick.
Yeah, it was a great little move from Mbeumo as he came in from the right-hand side. Came back in on his left-hand side of his foot. As he hits on towards goal, it actually comes through a crowd of players, and you can see there Pierce Charles a little bit unsighted, and he just gets it on the edge of his hands and parries it back into the danger area. And there's a bit of a ricochet in the end. Sheffield Wednesday do enough to get rid of the ball.
Didn't look flustered though, did he, the goalkeeper?
No, he didn't, but I thought he could have possibly done a little bit better with that shot on goal. It was a loose one that actually pops back out into sort of around the penalty area, and it could have easily have fallen to a Brentford player and just would have poked it home in an open goal.
An update from Wales. I've spoken to the Director General, Charlie. It's double bubble for you tonight, son, all the work you're doing.
I'm getting
done. Anyway,
paid.
You are.
I can quote you on that. That's excellent. Wales have just scored again, but again it's been disallowed. Jess Fishlock could have had hat-trick in this game. She's put the ball in the net 3 times, but twice it's been disallowed. So it's still Wales 1, Slovakia 0, 2-2 on aggregate. Still heading for extra time and penalties as it stands, with a little over 20 minutes remaining.
I hope when her career finishes, and she's had a wonderful career, there is a senior role for her in the women's game at some level or another, coaching, whatever, but a very senior role, because she deserves it. I think it's been tremendous for the game, not just the game in Wales or indeed at club level where she's played. That's a long pump ball out by Flecken, some 60-70 yards on the clearance, and Mbeumo's kept it in play right on the dead ball line. He turned infield, forces the deflection. He has a little look at the linesman just to see whether everything was okay. It was. Chased hard there, didn't he, Mbeumo?
Yeah, he did really well. He just couldn't get that first touch. As the ball flew over his shoulder from Fleck, and he needed to get that first touch on the ball, he just missed it. Wasn't enough. And as it was going towards the goal line, he managed to keep it in play and win the corner. So he does well in the end.
Southampton 2-1 up against Stoke in the other game. Wales 1-0 up against Slovakia. Ireland 1-0 up against Georgia. Scotland 2-0 up against Hungary. 0-0 Northern Ireland. Croatia and England 2-0 up against South Africa in the women's games tonight. That's a friendly, don't forget, that game up at Coventry City. Williamson and Clinton scoring the England goals for the Lionesses. Mbeumo with the corner kick as a grubber across the face of goal. Oh! And it came all the way through, and it's missed 8 yards out, well no, about 10 yards out by Jensen. The goal gaped. He can't quite believe he's missed the target there.
Yeah, it was a big chance. As the ball came across, it wasn't hit. It seemed like it was under hit, and it sort of bounced through the 18-yard box, outside the edge of the 6-yard box. All the defenders and attackers were in that 6-yard area, and everyone's just turned. Jensen's run onto it, and I think he's just mishit the shot from about 8-9 yards out.
Don't forget, tomorrow we have Newcastle United against Chelsea. Commentary with Alan Shearer and Ian Dennis. About time Dano did something. And then following the conclusion of that, we'll pick it up with Tottenham against Manchester City on 5 Live. The first half of that is on 5 Sports Extra. And Alan Shearer and Leon Osman, co-commentators tomorrow night. Alan is with Dano and Leon is with Mark Scott for their game. It's going to be a throw-in for Brentford on their left-hand side. Magoma will take it. They're leading Sheffield Wednesday, the Championship, by a 1-0. Sheffield Wednesday, no great pedigree in this competition. They've only gone beyond this stage once in the last decade. Brentford have got a more recent pedigree. They were semi-finalists in this in 2021 when Tottenham beat them. That was the one-off year, wasn't it? The one-off semi-final year. I think that was post-lockdown. Am I right on that? Now, here's big Nathan Collins to bring it out. Collins into Mbeumo's feet. Mbeumo up to Keane Lewis-Potter. Tried to return it, and it all got a little bit fancy, and then it's given away very quickly by Gassama. And the period of play, as far as Sheffield Wednesday are concerned, got a bit untidy. As soon as they win back the ball, they're giving it away, and Brentford are in control, though it's only 1-0, and as such, that's a fragile, very fragile lead. Yeah, Brentford spread it. Sorry, Mark.
That's just one of those moments there where Sheffield Wednesday have worked really hard in defending, organised, putting pressure on the ball. They're in a position where they're near the halfway line. They win the ball back. They're on a quick sort of turnover of play and trying to hit Brentford on the counter. And it's that first pass, where it really can hurt a team. they just get a little bit wrong. It's just a misdirected pass, and you can see the manager on the side of the pitch here, Danny Royal, right in front of us here, really trying to encourage his team, because it is hard when you're waiting for the ball, waiting for those opportunities, and you just get that pass wrong, maybe because you're a little bit extra tired than normal.
Free kick for Brentford. Mee touches it into Jensen. 1 minute of additional time has been announced here. Jensen has prodded through a tentative ball, dead centre to Lewis Potter, gets it back, then chops the pass out towards the left-hand touchline, where it's cleared away by the hard-worked Patterson on that left-hand side. And Brentford have it again from the throw-in. Yana drives just 2 or 3 yards, then releases out to Magoma. Brentford have stroked the ball out. They've had far more of the possession, and as we knew they would, possession-based side, very exciting side here this season. Brentford, with the goals, have certainly flowed against Ipswich in that magnificent topsy-turvy game at the weekend. 4-3, Wolves 5-3, and they're on the attack now into the penalty area. A little flick down comes from Boomer, right side of the penalty area, tries to lay it back, and he once or twice trying to get the perfect goal here, Brentford, and Boomer has it anyway. He's now back near towards his touchline. Time beats them. Half-time whistle blows, and they lead with the goal from Kevin Schade, having gone through one-on-one with the goalkeeper, parried by Charles, came back to him and he tucked it. And Lewis Potter and Mbeumo have also brought saves out of the young goalkeeper. Sheffield Wednesday have not had an attack to mention, really, and they trail mark at half-time.
No, they haven't really. I mean, obviously they've forayed a couple of times into the box of Brentford, but not really causing any problems whatsoever. Certainly not for Mark Flecken. I don't think he's made one save. It was a little block really close in from an angle. But, you know, Sheffield Wednesday have defended really well. They've worked really hard and not given away too many chances either to Brentford.
Brentford in control, but the scoreline is a fragile one, Kelly, 1-0.
Thank you very much for that. Jonathan Pearce and Mark Schwarzer at the GTEC Community Stadium for that game. We'll be back with them for the second half. In the meantime, there's been another goal in the game between Scotland and Hungary. Charlie Slater.
This is surely game over, and Scotland are now surely one tie away from next summer's European Championships in Switzerland. It's Scotland 3, Hungary 0. That on the night, 4-0 on aggregate, the latest scorer Caroline Weir. So Scotland going through. They will take on Finland for a place at next summer's Euros. The really interesting one at the moment is Wales against Slovakia. There's 15 minutes left in Cardiff. It's Wales 1, Slovakia 0, 2-2 on aggregate. And it's so finely poised. It's all Wales. Jess Fishlock has had 2 goals disallowed to go along with the one that she has scored this evening. So that one looks like it could be going all the way. But Cardiff are knocking on the Slovakian door. And the other game that I'm watching this evening is also very tight and approaching its conclusion. 87 minutes have just ticked over at Windsor Park. It's Northern Ireland 0, Croatia 0. That one 1-1 on aggregate. So very close to additional time, extra time, and possibly penalties at Windsor Park as well. We'll keep across all of it as Northern Ireland come on the break here, play the ball into the 6-yard box, gobbled up by the Croatian goalkeeper. Thought we might have had a dramatic winner perhaps just at the right time as I'm talking to you, Kelly, but alas.
Charlie, if there is one, we'll be back with you. Charlie Slater keeping across all the home nations in action. Remember, England-South Africa is on Sports Extra. Our commentary match, Brentford against Sheffield Wednesday. We heard from Jonathan Pearce and Mark Schwarzer. Andy Reid has been watching that one. Andy, it's hard to see this as anything more than the Premier League side doing just enough, just what they have to do to get past Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think they're really, really comfortable in the game. They look like they've still got a couple of gears to go up. Mbeumo looks really, really sharp. They probably could have a couple of goals. I think from an attacking point of view, I don't think Sheffield Wednesday have very much to offer. I think Mark mentioned it towards the end there. They had a little bit of a foray, probably 20 minutes into the first half, but other than that, they haven't tested the keeper. So they'll probably need to make changes. They'll need to do something a little bit different if they're going to cause Brentford any problems. But really comfortable night so far for Brentford. And I think they've actually played some really, really good football at times. I think they look a classy, well-established Premier League team. And that's a good thing for them, considering that they've made a few changes and the players that have come in, they look really, really up to the level. Interesting game, decent from Brentford.
Andy, thank you very much for that. The only thing is, it is still only 1-0 to Brentford, so if they don't build on that the second half, it could well be a nervy end to the game at the GTEC Community Stadium. So that one's an 8 o'clock kickoff. Back there shortly for the second half. 7:45 kickoff at St Mary's for Southampton against Stoke. Chris Wise is watching.
We are just seconds into the start of the second half. Southampton 2, Stoke City 1. Really quite a commanding offering from Southampton in the first half, so they'll be a little puzzled as to how there is still only one goal in this. Taylor Harwood-Bellis with the header to put them ahead 90 minutes in from Fernandez's corner. 2-0 and Adam Armstrong stroked in a very calm and collected penalty just after the half hour. But Stoke's goal right on half time from Ashley Phillips, the Tottenham Hotspur loanee, the centre half, flicking it in very cleverly actually with his heel, manoeuvring his body to turn the ball into the corner with his foot. And it's given Stoke a bit of a chance in this. They have been tepid considering the step up in quality, even factoring that in. Stoke, they haven't been great, but they've got a chance here, because at the start of the second half, and remember Southampton do have some mental frailties, we've seen it this season. It's Southampton 2, Stoke City 1.
Chris Wise, thank you very much. We heard about the other home nations and their progress through these Euro 2025 qualifiers. Let's check in on England's game against South Africa. Vicky Sparks.
Yeah, it's just about to get underway in this second half here, Kelly, and it has been an impressive first half performance from England. There were a lot of questions after that 4-3 thrilling defeat to Germany as South Africa get us underway in this second half. England losing to the record European champions, the side they beat, of course, in the final of the Euros 2 years ago at Wembley by 4-3. A lot made as well of the fact that Serena Wiegmann didn't make any changes from their final Euro qualifier from that game. She made 8 changes here today, and some of those players have really come in and impressed. Rachel Brown-Finnis, former England goalkeeper, alongside me. We've seen goals from Leah Williamson and Grace Clinton. That gives England this 2-0 lead at the start of the second half. But which players have really stood out for you this evening?
Well, Grace Clinton with the goal obviously stands out on paper, but her performance has been really impressive, very mature. She's trying to find those pockets, as you do in a 10 or 8 role, pockets between the back line and midfield, finding those little tiny movements to get the angles to be able to get on the ball in tight areas. She's also been a really good physical presence for England when needed. And that.
So Alex Greenwood on the ball here, early stages of this second half. England 2, South Africa 0 in this friendly.
Vicky and Rachel, thank you very much. Vicky Sparks and Rachel Brown-Finnis taking you through that game between England and South Africa on Sports Extra. In League One this evening, it's Lincoln City 1, Northampton 1, Stevenage 0, Bolton 2, Stockport County 3, Reading 1. One game in League 2 this evening, it's currently Fleetwood 1, Salford 1. In the Scottish Championship, it's Dunfermline 1, Livingston 0, Greenock Morton 0, Queen's Park 1, and Raith Rovers are 1-0 up at home to Airdrieonians. We're going to bring you the second half of Brentford against Sheffield Wednesday in the EFL Cup 4th round, and the rest of the day's sports news after the BBC headlines with Fraser Dainton.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Thank you, Kelly. Good evening. The government's revealed that more than 3 million lower paid workers are to benefit from a 6.7% rise in the national living wage in tomorrow's budget. It means an increase of around £1,400 a year for a full-time worker over the age of 21. Some businesses have said they're surprised by the size of the increase after a long period of rising costs. But the Chief Secretary to the Treasury, Darren Jones, said having higher paid, more secure workers was good for employers.
Pro-worker, pro-business approach to the economy is the right approach, and investing in your workforce is a great way to improve your productivity, not least because you'll have more people across the country with more money in their pocket being able to spend it in the economy.
Meanwhile, the Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, has said it will still be a challenging winter for the NHS in England, despite the announcement of new investment. £1.5 billion has been earmarked for new surgical hubs, scanners and radiotherapy machines. A teenager accused of murdering 3 girls in Southport in July has been charged with 2 further offences, one of which is terror-related. Alex Kuba Axel Ruba Cabana, who's 18, is due to appear in court in London tomorrow, charged with possessing a study of an Al-Qaeda training manual and a quantity of the poison ricin. Despite the terror charge, the incident itself isn't being treated as an act of terrorism, as our UK correspondent Daniel Sanford explains.
To be accused of being involved in terrorism then there needs to be some suggestion that your motivation is for a religious or political purpose. And at this stage, the people who assess whether or not a crime is a terrorism-related crime have not made that assessment. That is not something that they've decided, and so at this stage it's not being treated as being a terrorism-related incident.
And Santander has announced it's cutting 1,400 jobs in the UK as part of efforts to cut costs. It's understood the Spanish bank will have completed the cuts before the end of the year.
Asia is home to the most extraordinary life. The largest owls, the world's smallest elephants, the richest seas on the planet, the biggest of all big cats, the world's rarest bear.
Asia with David Attenborough.
If you think you've seen the best the natural world has to offer, think again.
Start Sunday night on BBC iPlayer. This is 5 Live Sports
with Kelly Cates.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
We heard earlier from Charlie Slater the updates on the home nations that are taking place in Euro 2025 qualifiers. You were hoping for a late winner for Northern Ireland. Have we seen it, Charlie Slater?
Didn't get one. It's finished Northern Ireland 0, Croatia 0. That's 1-1 on aggregate. 180 minutes over 2 legs. Couldn't separate them. We're heading for extra time.
Charlie, thank you very much for that. We'll keep you across everything that's happening as far as those games is concerned. Our commentary match is Brentford against Sheffield Wednesday in the EFL Cup 4th round. Back there very shortly. Elsewhere in sport today, England have named all-rounder Jacob Bethell in their squad for the 3-test series against New Zealand next month. Jordan Cox is set to deputise for wicketkeeper Jamie Smith. He'll miss the series. He's on paternity leave. In rugby union, Steve Borthwick has named a squad ahead of England's opening autumn internationals with New Zealand. Commentary from 3:05 on 5 Sports Extra on Saturday. Centre Henry Slade will start in midfield. He's only played 54 minutes of club rugby this season due to injury. Ben Spencer starts at scrum half for the injured Alex Mitchell, and George Ford is fit enough to make the bench on his return from his quad injury. It's a special week for England. They're back at Twickenham for the first time since March. Here's head coach Steve Borthwick.
Firstly, I'd say any test week for England is a special week. It's an exciting week, and I sense an excitement amongst the players. I think to be playing at home, Allianz Stadium at Twickenham, I think players are excited to be back there in front of our supporters. I know we've such a great number of supporters that travel around the world watching us, but to be back in front of our home support, we're really excited about it.
Yeah, tough team selection this one.
I think it's always tough team selection with England because they've got a load of really good players, and that's brilliant. It's exactly, as a coach, it's exactly the position you want to be in.
Henry Slade, obviously you're confident that those minutes for Exeter have done the job?
I'm very confident. I think Slade said he wanted to play for his club, and he's an experienced player, he's an experienced test player, and that's what he wanted to do. So, okay, I back him. I think he's been in great physical shape. When I sensed almost as soon as he had the shoulder surgery, and he's told him exactly what he needs to do to plan his return, to be back playing for Exeter, back playing for England for this Autumn Nation Series. He's been driven, which, again, is exactly what you want as a coach, is players like Henry Slade.
When you played the All Blacks last, they were right at the start of their Scott Robertson journey. They've now had 6-7 test matches on top of that. Yeah. Are you expecting a different style from an All Black side this weekend?
I think there's some things that are really consistent. The intensity of the games that New Zealand are involved in are really high. The exchanges, the battle, the contest that is around the forwards they're very good, and their ability to move the ball. It becomes a high running demand in the game as well, and we know that the breakdown is going to be a hard fought area, so we are really respectful of what a quality side they are, and what quality players they are. We can't wait to be back at Allianz Stadium at Twickenham on Saturday, and we know the start of the game is important, but also to every moment in the game is important, especially when you're playing against New Zealand. The skill level they have, the speed they have, is you have to be alive. The players need to be alive for every moment the game, and I think what our supporters have seen over this last period of time, this is how much this England team, this young England team, how much pride they have to represent their country, how the players want to connect with the supporters, and I think that the supporters see how much the players care, and that again we want to put in a performance on Saturday that demonstrates all of that.
That was England head coach Steve Borthwick, and there's a special Rugby Union Weekly podcast out now on BBC Sounds featuring an interview with South Africa coach Rassie Erasmus from their training camp in Jersey. In the EFL Cup 4th round, Southampton were 2-0 up at home to Stoke. Stoke got it back to 2-1, last we heard from Chris Wise, but since then there's been another goal, Chris.
And another goal for the Championship side. They've come from 2-0 down. It's 2-2, 10 minutes into the second half. Tom Cannon's got the equaliser for Stoke. Deflected cross from Semedo towards the far post. Cannon, great finish, left-footed, high into the net. Did not see this coming for the bulk of the first half. Shaky Southampton, you bet they are. Southampton 2, Stoke 2.
Chris Wise is across everything that's happening there. We'll be back to the GTEC Community Stadium for the second half of Brentford against Sheffield Wednesday. Charlie Slater's across the home nations in Euro 2025 qualification action. And there's been another goal in Scotland, Charlie.
Yeah, and Scotland as good as through, Kelly. 4-0 now against Hungary, 5-0 on aggregate. They will face Finland for a place at next summer's Euros. Martha Thomas, the latest Scot to score.
Scotland, the most straightforward of those home nations game. It's looking pretty comfortable for England as well. That one's on Sports Extra, their game against South Africa with Vicky Sparks and Rachel Brown-Finnis. Charlie will keep us across the rest of the teams. There'll be updates from Southampton, and we can head back now to the GTEC Community Stadium where Mark Schwarzer and Jonathan Pearce are waiting.
Thanks very much, Kelly. We're almost ready to go in this second half. We just had a false start, actually. Brentford had a player, Lewis Potter, deep inside Sheffield Wednesday territory when Brentford actually kicked off, so the referee blows his whistle. Had a good game, actually, Wilford, neither referee, and we're off and underway. It's his 12th game this season, mainly, of course, at Championship level. The Championship side 1-0 down. They're kicking from left to right, away from the bulk of the Brentford fans, so towards their own supporters. Brentford in the red and white striped shirts, black shorts, of course, with Mark Flecken in goal. Seth Vandenberg, Nathan Collins, Ben Mee and Jaden Magoma. They're back for Vitaly Janelt and Matthias Jensen holding him in midfield, and then you've got Mbumo Carvalho in the roaming 10 role and Keane Lewis Potter on the left and Kevin Schade up through the middle. Sheffield Wednesday have possession. Gassama finds the left-hand touchline. I'll run through their team in just a few moments' time, because Brentford can break on this. They're at the halfway line, they've got an overload. Schade plays it back in then towards Carvalho and away to the left-hand side. Lewis Potter has it. Lewis Potter steps over the ball into the penalty area. Some people are still trying to get back into their seats here to our left-hand side, as Sheffield Wednesday will clear that away, and Brentford made a right mess of that, and it'll be out then by Ingleson. England 2, South Africa 1 now at Coventry in the friendly England International. They were 2-0 up England. That's 57 minutes gone. Brentford left back Jaden Magoma over the halfway line at trundling pace, finds the left hand touchline to Lewis Potter. Back it goes then to Matthias Jensen. He finds the left hand touchline again, and Brentford look infield. 10 yards away is Lewis Potter. Little give and go, lent the ball in there then to Janelt, gets it back, but he at a tight angle managed to work the cross back in from the dead ball line, and the keeper Piers Charles took no unnecessary risks and palmed it over for a corner kick, but the ball had already gone, I think, so it's going to be a goal kick away to the left hand side. Piers Charles, 19 years of age in the Sheffield Wednesday goal, only his 6th game for the club. That was on Manchester City's books. And in front of him he has a centre-back 3, Dominic Iorfa, Gabriel Octabayo, the 19-year-old from Cork City, Max Lowe is the left side centre-back of the 3, Callum Patterson is the right wing back, Marvin Johnson on the left, Sean Fasir and Svante Ingleson holding midfield players, with Anthony Musaba wide right, JD Gassama wide left, though they have changed at times, and Ika Ugbo through the middle. How do you think the second half's going to go? Mark Schwarzer.
Well, again, I think it's going to be a lot of the like the first 45 minutes where Sheffield Wednesday are going to have to try and close down Brentford as much as they can, put pressure on the ball, try and win the ball high out. They're playing a high line, they're not stopping from that. That's clearly a tactic from Sheffield Wednesday. And for Brentford, it's just been a little bit more clinical in possession. They haven't done that. They've been a bit wasteful.
Here's Carvalho, direct run from deep, and Mbumo into the right-hand side of the penalty. Cross shot, this is through the 6-yard area. Schade couldn't get a touch and it's away through. Lewis Potter was in there, he couldn't get a touch, and it's away through, and Sheffield Wednesday clear. Brentford very nearly in at them right at the start of the second half.
Yeah, it was better this time. It was a lot more direct from Brentford, and Boomer was down on the right-hand side, and you think he's going to have a shot at goal. Instead he cuts it back, and Lewis Potter just can't get anything on it. I think the pace of the ball just outdone him, and he's also under a lot of pressure.
Oh, I've just had a sip of tea brought to me at half-time by producer Rob Northman. That is so hot. I've just had a tonsillectomy from the cup of tea. That was searing, man, that's laser sharp. Brentford have possession on the left-hand side. Go easy with your coffee there, Mark. It's going to be a little flick down the line by young Magoma, who's been impressive, this 18-year-old fullback. And it's going to be a free kick then to Brentford, to be taken not as quickly as he thought he was by Yannick. Dummy to take it, then thought twice about it. Me then, just behind him to his right-hand side. Takes a return pass from Carvalho, then chips forward inside left channel. Across comes Callum Patterson. Got it really hard on that right for Sheffield Wednesday to curtail the double threat across there of Lewis Potter, backed up by Magoma. And Brentford are forced back into their own half, and they have to find the goalkeeper Mark Flecker. It's his first League Cup tie of this campaign. Didn't play in the early games against Colchester and Leyton Orient. And he finds Ben Mee in possession now. The evergreen Ben Mee onto Lewis Potter. Faced up Lewis Potter by Anthony Musaba. Plays it back to the heart of the Brentford defence. It's edged to the right-hand side. We can get an update from that Wales-Slovakia European Championship playoff second leg with Charlie Slater.
It's full time. Wales have beaten Slovakia 1-0 on the night, but it's 2-2 on aggregate. Wales trying to qualify for their first ever major tournament. Very true to form, are going to have to do it the hard way. 2-2 on aggregate. Jess Fishlock's goal on the night. It means that we've got another 30 minutes to go to decide a winner to go through to the final Euros qualifier.
And that would be against the Republic of Ireland in the what is effectively the playoff final then. Brentford leading 1-0 in this Carabao Cup fourth round for a place in the quarter-final. Janelt turns a 10-yard, 15-yard ball away towards Magoma, attacking the dead ball line. They've got some good fullbacks at Brentford. A couple of them, of course, out through injury at this moment in time, but Magoma looks a good one to come forward and through the ranks. But Sheffield Wednesday clear, brought down by Jensen. Back to Ben Mee, who swivels 360 degrees, pushes a pass 3 or 4 yards in to his right-hand side, and Nathan Collins. One more pass out via Vandenberg to the right touch, and then Brahim Mbeumo. Mbeumo, little flick back to him by Carvalho. Good understanding. Broke down. Carvalho then fouled as he came away from goal. A bit of a needless foul, if anything, from Ike Ugbo, who hasn't been able to get into the game. Sheffield Wednesday haven't had an attack. They've not had an effort on goal yet.
No, they haven't. I mean, they've had some good possession in some good areas. They just haven't had that final pass, really. So at the moment, it's all about trying to keep their shape and to contain Brentford.
And this is a Brentford free kick. 4 yards right of centre. 10 yards outside the Sheffield Wednesday penalty area. Hands on hips, Jensen stands over it, with his left foot just behind the ball. Can't quite see who that is on the other side of him, thinking about this free kick. Up from the back is the tall figure of 6'4" Nathan Collins, the Irish international. Would it be aimed at him? It's pushed out to Mbeumo, chops back to his left foot, then plays it into the runner Yana, who was the other man standing over that free kick. But the pass from Mbeumo had too much pace on it, and the run was masked anyway when it's gone out to play for a goal kick. Bolton lead at Stevenage now 3-0 in League One. Ricardo and McAtee had them 2-0 up in 16 minutes, and Adebayo has just scored the third just past the hour mark in that game. Goal kick then to Sheffield Wednesday. Piers Charles will take it. Don't forget where they were when Danny Roll took over, bottom of the championship. He steered them to safety in the end, to 20th. They were safe by 3 points. He actually said they needed 8 wins from their last 16 games, I think it was. They got 9, and they needed 9 in the end to stay up. And they attacked through Patterson, had to stretch on the right-hand side. Screams in frustration, didn't like the quality of the ball played out to him, thought it was a little bit untidy, a little bit lazy from Gassama. So Brentford have it then, with Jensen, cultured player, on the ball, the 30 times capped Danish international. Starting tonight in the League Cup for the first time this season, played 30 minutes against Ipswich. His Brentford team are leading And Mee finds the busy Carvalho. What have you made of him tonight, Fabio Carvalho?
Well, I think he's been, very active. I mean, he's trying to get on the ball as much as he possibly can. He's had some nice little interchange play, often with Kevin Schade and Bumo as well. Just not. I think he's not really on it, and that obviously has a lot to do with the fact he's not playing regular all the time. So it's that match sharpness, and these are the games where he'll be looking to try and hone in on that match sharpness.
Only his 5th start of the season so far. Here's Jensen then for Brentford, strokes a pass to the left touchline. Magoma back again to Jensen, chops it right-footed out towards Lewis Potter. Magoma's on the overlap and he can backheel it to him. Good work there by Patterson once again. Versatile player is Callum Patterson, always hard-working player. Carvalho tried to slip it into the penalty area. It's boomed away by Gabriel Otigbayo. It's a very good young player in the making. In the year at Burnley from Cove Ramblers, didn't play a game for them. But to join Sheffield Wednesday in the summer, had a trial first. And now it's Mbumo for Brentford. We've been playing 53 minutes and it's 1-0 to Brentford. And they're edging towards the last 8th place. And Ben Mee is in possession on the halfway line. Dane Jensen once again tries one of those big explosive quarterback passes out towards the right-hand touchline, and Mbumo, it's headed away decently by Marvin Johnson out there, so it's a throw to Brentford, taken rather quickly. They haven't been in the quarterfinals of this competition since 21-22 when they lost here against Chelsea. They reached the semi-finals the previous year. A decent record then in recent seasons. Now they've got a decent shot. Schade tried to turn on the ball inside the penalty area. It was dispossessed by Max Lowe. Had a steady game for Sheffield Wednesday. Still Brentford have possession. Basically the story of the game is Sheffield Wednesday clear their penalty area, Brentford pick up possession and come again.
They do at the moment, and that's the difficulty when you're under a lot of pressure. You've got a lot of players behind the ball. You're looking to try and put pressure on as much as you can, and when you do win it, it's all about retaining that possession. How do you find an outlet? How do you keep hold of the ball, give yourself an opportunity to get your breath back, but also advance up the pitch? Sheffield Wednesday haven't been able to do that too often in this game so far.
They have a throw halfway inside their own half that Iorfa takes into Sean Fouzier. This youngster who's been at the club since he was 9. He's only 19 now. Missed a season with a hernia operation. Has been in the squad this season on a regular basis. Nice piece of footwork by Piers Charles, by the way, inside his own goal, turning and twisting away from the goal scorer Kevin Schade. 1-0 Brentford. And then Sheffield Wednesday make a bit of a mess of the clearance through Otigbayo. And so do Brentford with the crossfield ball, and Wednesday pick it up again inside their own half. There's a charging run by Musaba, drops his shoulder, tried to take on his man in there and lost out to Yannock. Ball breaks to the Sheffield Wednesday right. Good progress into the Brentford half here on the right hand side, trailing one, and then Iorfa's pass is untidy. So too was the defensive ball by Mee, looking for Magoma, and Wednesday here will attack down the right hand side again with Musaba. Twisting, turning, defender's challenge, pushes it out of play for a corner despite the protestations of Jayden Magoma. Corner ball, their first of the game.
Yeah, it's a good little play from Sheffield Wednesday this time. They kept hold of possession long enough, put enough pressure on Brentford. Brentford did help. They gave the ball away a couple of times too easily, but it was all about the positional play from Sheffield Wednesday, putting them under pressure high out in the park, and they deservedly win that corner.
1-0. Brentford lead. That cup of tea has warmed me up from my nose to my toes, as my grandmother used to tell me. Have a cup of tea, warm me up from your nose to your toes. There you are. It's going to be don't sit on cold concrete was another advice from my grandmother. Different reason. Anyway, we won't go there. Corner kick then to be taken by Sheffield Wednesday's Svante Ingelsson. Left foot cross in the middle and gathered by Mark Flecker quite comfortably as well, I thought, Mark. We'll go to Mark in a minute because we've got to go to Southampton against Stoke and Chris Wise.
2-2 midway through.
Oh, what a goal! What a goal! Sheffield Wednesday pulled one right out of it. Sorry, Chris. J.D. Gassama, from a keeper's clearance, picked up the ball 30 yards out, took 3, 4, 5 steps and rocketed a shot past Flecken, and Sheffield Wednesday, with their first attack of the game, their first shot of the game, have tied it up at 1-1.
Yeah, it's a brilliant shot from distance there. It was Flecken who tries to play the quick ball out, long ball out to Schade. Schade just doesn't get hold of it, needs to get his foot on it, so he tries to turn, and it's then really quickly overturned, and then Gassama gets onto it, pounces, hits a shot from distance, and it rockets into the bottom left-hand corner. Great strike.
Sensational goal from the former PSG youngster. Had 4 years there, didn't score, doesn't have many for Sheffield Wednesday, you know. Only his second of the season, but that was a blisterer. That's a fantastic goal. And that's 1-1 here at the GTEC Community Stadium with 57 minutes gone. And now, as promised, we will go to St Mary's, Southampton against Stoke, and that news from Chris Wise.
And the Championship teams are causing some problems wherever they go tonight. Southampton 2, Stoke 2 here, 20 minutes to go, and the only chance that Southampton have had since that Stoke equaliser, a Cameron Archer header which drifted wide at the post. Southampton 2, Stoke 2.
Don't forget the Lionesses are in action. They lead South Africa with 2-1 with 20 minutes to go, and the commentary continues on 5 Sports Extra. If you want, there's a substitution going on here now, and there's going to be a Brentford substitution. First of all, I think there's going to be, Bernard's going to come on for Sheffield Wednesday. I can tell you that Deschamps Bernard is going to come on, and for Brentford, it's going. I can't quite see who that is. Who's going to come on here at the moment? Lewis Potter's on this near touchline, but I don't think he's going to go on. Palmer has come on for Sheffield Wednesday. Might be a double Sheffield Wednesday substitution then. Deschamps Bernard is going to come on for them. One of the men going off is Dominic Iorfa, so it's centre-back for centre-back. Palmer will slip in there. Brentford are as you are, but Sheffield Wednesday have made the 2 substitutions. And Palmer is on. Sean Fusier is the other player who's gone off. So Bernard and Palmer on, Iorfa and Fusier. And Brentford have it inside their own half. Difficult game for Sean Fusier because they couldn't get the grips with it for a long time, the 19-year-old. Plenty of promise in him. But instead now they've gone for a little bit more experience. What do you make of the substitutions, Mark?
Well, I think for Sheffield Wednesday it was about, even if that goal hadn't come, I think it was about time they needed to look to try and freshen things up, try and change things a little bit, trying to win more possession and keep control of the ball once they do win it, because the problem hasn't been winning the ball, it's actually maintaining and holding on to it for longer periods enough.
Palmer, right back, centre back, defensive midfield player. Deschamps Bernard, centre back, right back. He's come on the right hand side of the centre back trio, and Palmer has gone into the anchor midfield role alongside Ingleson. And here comes Sheffield Wednesday again. This is remarkable. They're on the attack. Will it come in towards Musaba? It's a driven shot from just outside the 6-yard area, a cross shot. And they're still pressurising Brentford, who are rocking here and rolling, and Sheffield Wednesday are on top. And it's his first contribution of the game from Liam Palmer. It's a whiplash effort from 35 yards straight down the throat of the goalkeeper, who made a comfortable save. What a turnabout in this game.
Yeah, amazing what sort of bit of confidence can do for you, a goal can do for you. It's certainly lifted Sheffield Wednesday, and there's a bit more self-belief out there. There was the first attempt on goal. Flecken does well in the near post area. I mean, I wouldn't have expected him to be beaten. He manages just to parry the ball back out into play, and as the ball falls loose and eventually ends up at the edge of the box, Palmer hits that ball, strikes it really, really well. And only problem was it's straight down the throat of Mark Flecken. It was an easy save for him in the end.
1-1, saying it all night on 5 Live. The lead didn't exactly look uncomfortable for Brentford, but it looked uneasy. But here's Mbeumo now, coming in from the right-hand side, comes back to him. Mbeumo from the edge of the penalty area. Goalkeeper parries it away. Would it come out to Mbeumo? It didn't. And eventually they could clear. Nearly came out to Carvalho. Goalkeeper may have got a little bit fortunate, but there was plenty of pace on the shot.
Yeah, it was a great little play again from Mbeumo there. Every time he sort of looks to come inside with a bit of pace, that little bit of extra energy causes Sheffield Wednesday problems. He has that shot, and it's a really good save from the goalkeeper, Pierce Charles. He does really well, gets enough behind it, makes the save. Yeah, ricochets back out into the 8-yard box, but Sheffield Wednesday managed to clear.
Well, the Sheffield Wednesday fans are singing the name of their manager, Danny Roll. He's just 35 years of age, the 3rd youngest in the league, but he's been taught how to coach. He's been taught how to analyse the games. He's a good young one. Watch out for him over the next few years. Watch out for scorelines coming in from League One right now. Lincoln 1, Northampton 1, Stevenage 1, Bolton 3. Sheffield Wednesday are through here onto the edge of the penalty area. It's a half a chance for a shot across goal. It was rather taken early by Ike Ogbo and slanted well wide of the far post. Another good opportunity for them.
Yeah, it was almost Route 1 football there. Pierce Charles' long clearance. Patterson jumps up, flicks it on, and Ogbo just can't control the shot. He's on a bit of an angle, He's got Fleck in the beat still. He just misses the target.
Stockport 4, Reading 1 now in League 1. Good night for Stockport. And Fleetwood leads Salford 2-1 in League 2. Don't forget tomorrow night's commentary, Newcastle, Chelsea and Tottenham, Manchester City. 16,700 odd in the crowd here. So I think he said 16,705. A Brentford official who's just passed across me with the writing on a white piece of paper down below me. That's really, really good. The average is 17,000 here this season. 16,701 is the crowd. Well done, thank you very much, sir. And now Brentford in possession. Far side from me. Collins with the chip ball into the penalty, half-headed away and then clubbed out by Callum Patterson. What a terrific performance he's put in again for Sheffield Wednesday tonight. Ask him to play anywhere and he'll dig deep for you. Callum Patterson, 430 club career games now with Hearts and Cardiff. Oh, it's a shot from the edge of the penalty area that goes wide. Sheffield Wednesday defending very deep. Now they've got the advantage, if you like, having come back in the game one with that other chance. Should they be sitting so deep?
Well, I think it's actually because of the fact that Brentford have lifted their game a little bit. Obviously, they've been rocked by that equaliser, and they've lifted the tempo a little bit. And when they do lift the tempo a bit, that causes Sheffield Wednesday a bit more problems because they're not able to get back into shape as quickly. I felt that up until this point, Brentford have been a little bit slow in that transition, trying to put pressure on Sheffield Wednesday, trying to hit them with attack. There've been a little bit too many passes and a bit sloppy as well in possession at times.
Mikkel Damsgaard and Johan Wisser are going to come on for Brentford any moment now. Double substitution again, plenty of Premier League experience as they find Keane Lewis Potter on the left hand side. Took it very well from a loop 35-yard pass out to him. Then he swivels and looks for Brian Mbeumo on the right corner of the penalty area. 3 Sheffield Wednesday players time to close very quickly. This is where they pressed. Look at the numbers back there for Sheffield Wednesday. 3, 6, 8, 9 around their own penalty area. But they've got through here, Brentford. The cross whipped through the penalty area by Magoma. Zips on through. We've got a game on our hands here now on 5 Live at 1-1. Good opportunity there for Brentford. Couldn't get the touch in the middle, thrown for Sheffield Wednesday on the far side.
That's a great ball from Magoma down the left-hand side here. Really good ball with pace. It beat everyone in the 6-yard box, and the Brentford fans, obviously a lot of ooze around the stadium because it was that close.
Let's go to Coventry. Vicky Sparks
headed away by Alex Greenwood, and almost South Africa with the opportunity to equalise. Kat Lana, who scored to get South Africa back in it in the second half, going through again, and a brilliant block preventing her. But England living so dangerously against a side ranked 48 places below them. It's England 2, South Africa 1.
Double substitution here, thanks Vicky, for Brentford. On for the men come Johan Wisser and Mikkel Damsgaard, and off go Matthias Jensen and Fabio Carvalho. Again, these are big names they're bringing on. Wisser 4 goals this season, the DR Congo international. He and Mbeumo have a very good understanding up front for them, and Damsgaard on his day can be deadly. But it's Patterson for Sheffield Wednesday now, halfway inside the Brentford half, gets across all the way into the penalty area, and it's just hammered away inside there by the Brentford defender Nathan Collins. All of a sudden the Premier League team here, when Sheffield Wednesday come forward on the counter, look in danger.
Yeah, they do, and I think it's more about Sheffield Wednesday's intent. Now they're getting more bodies in the box, and they're looking to try and hit Brentford on the counter-attack, and they've been better in possession. They've been better with that final pass.
And he rolled down below us. He looks so young in his tracksuit top. It's like almost like, well, from someone from my age point, it looks like a ball boy down there. Now Ingleson rolls it back. I'm sure he'll appreciate that, Mark. In it comes to the penalty as a high lobbed cross, and they had to get it away. Facing away from goal, Vandenberg got underneath it, but I think the last touch was of a Sheffield Wednesday man. Was there a flag for offside? It was a flag for offside, free kick then. 1-1. Don't think you could see this coming, could you, at half-time, really?
Well, I think whenever the score is 1-0 only, I think there's always a danger. Second half, people go in at half-time, they get the team talk, bit of refresh. Brentford may be thinking, right, OK, we're in almost cruise control a little bit. The tempo really wasn't lifted, and it just took one little moment, and that's what Sheffield Wednesday have produced in this second half. That one moment that has got themselves back in the game.
There's going to be a couple more substitutions for Sheffield Wednesday. Josh Windus is going to come on. Might be 3 actually. Smith is going to come on. Scored a belter at Portsmouth on Friday. But Brentford attack down their left-hand side. Lewis Potter has Wissa outside him, right-footed cross into the middle, headed away at the heart of the Sheffield Wednesday defence by Dishon Bernard, the Jamaican international. And it's a throw to Sheffield Wednesday now. 1-1, 5 live with just past the midway mark in the second half. Don't forget, penalties could come at the end of this. So Windus comes on, Lowe comes on, and Smith comes on. Ike Ugbo is going off for them, or has gone off for them, centre half. So Lowe will come on, another one of their strikers. Windus can play as a main striker or through the middle, and Smith will come on. JD Gassama is leaving the field of play, the winger, and we'll just wait to see who the third one is. He departs. Gassama was he feeding down to his hamstring there? Was he limping a little bit? And Anthony Masaba, the other wide player, is going off for them as well, I believe. Full time, Scotland against Hungary. Convincing for Scotland, Charlie Slater.
Very much so. 4-0 winners on the night, 5 on aggregate. Kerr, Cuthbert, Weir and Thomas the scorers. Scotland through to face Finland in the final qualifier. That at the end of next month for a place in next summer's Euros.
All of a sudden, it's a fresh-looking front three for Sheffield Wednesday. Lowe, 2 goals this season. Been around the houses, hasn't he? Lowe, 485 club games all over the place, a lot of non-league clubs in there, appreciates where he is. Michael Smith also travelled around a lot in his career, and he'll put it about up front, and he has done just that now, and he's forced to throw in for Sheffield Wednesday on their right-hand side at 1-1, 10 yards from the dead ball line, maybe a little bit deeper than that. No, Ingleson has crept forward 4 or 5 yards, so it will be Ingleson will take the throw in. We've got another substitution coming on. Mads Rørslev is coming on for Magoma, so it's fullback for fullback, and he'll come on defending what I would describe as a set piece, because this is going to be thrown straight into the box. And well done, by the way, young Magoma, Jaden Magoma for Brentford, had an excellent game here tonight. So it's going to be a long throw into the penalty area. Here it comes now. Moves forward 4 or 5 yards, hurls the ball. Goodness me, that's a long throw into the near post area, and the goalkeeper Flecken comes and gathers and makes a comfortable save, Mark.
Yeah, he does well, Flecken, there, because they're always difficult, those balls. As they pop up, it's floating up in the air. He's got a defender who's trying to block his way in Patterson, but Flecken does well. Not only does he gather the ball cleanly, he also keeps it in play as well.
Ben Mee for Brentford. That's not a good ball forward. Sheffield Wednesday pick it up again. Now big Michael Smith to Patterson. Patterson down the right-hand touchline, and it's going to be a throw-in, only just. The ball scraped away by the Brentford defender who just got there, Vandenberg. Into the box it goes, cleared it away. We've got a Northern Ireland goal. Which way did it go, Charlie Slater?
To Northern Ireland. They may well have won it in the 114th minute. Lauren Wade with a stunner, half volley, 20 yards out. The keeper's rooted top corner. They're hanging on. They're leading by 2-1, and as it stands, going through.
Norway, I believe that will be in the last playoff round. What a change to this game we've had on 5 Live. And this is going to be another long throw-in. There's a peer around the monitor in front of me. I can't see who's going to take. I presume it's going to be Svante Ingleson who takes it away to our right-hand side. Ingleson then into the no, he didn't throw it into the penalty area. It's played back out to him. Now he just pushes it back then towards Liam Palmer. Here comes his cross, half cleared away. Ingleson takes it on the right foot, then the left foot, squares it, just squeezed away. The pass had a little bit too much pace on it to find Marvin Johnson. Cross back into the box. Patterson takes a tumble, immediately turns to the referee and claims that Vandenberg pushed him. I don't think he did. It's a goal kick. Vandenberg now playing at left back for Brentford.
I think there's a half a shout there. I think there was a push. I think there was certainly a push in the direction of Patterson, and Patterson actually just gets thrown off his feet. Not sure. I don't think he makes a meal of it. I think there's a genuine push there.
Rørslev came on for Brentford from Magoma, but came on at right back, which means that Vandenberg is playing left back and doesn't look at ease or as at ease on this side of the field of play. 1-1 with 17 and a half minutes to go. Massive week for football again on 5 Live, with the Carabao Cup tomorrow. 5 Live starting with Newcastle, Chelsea, Tottenham, Manchester City, which will be on 5 Sports Extra earlier, will then switch across after the conclusion of Newcastle, Chelsea. And Liverpool, Brighton on Saturday, followed by Wolves against Crystal Palace. Spurs, Villa on Sunday, followed by Manchester United against Chelsea. Don't forget that Rugby Union Weekly with the Razmi Erasmus International. And let's never forget Chris Wise is at Southampton against Stoke.
And we wouldn't have forgot this goal had it gone in for Stoke. It's still 2-2 Southampton-Stoke, but oh my word, how are they not in front? Million Manhoff running through, one-on-one with Ramsdale. It's hit the goalkeeper, it's hit Manhoff, it's gone over the top of the keeper, it's trickling onto the goal line, and Sugawara got back there to hook it away. Incredible stuff. Saints 2, Stoke 2, 5 to go.
2 very good Carabao Cup games we have for you for a place in the draw for the quarterfinals tomorrow night. And look where Mbeumo is, back inside his own half to pick up the ball, left foot lifted up then towards Wissa, who veers out towards the far touchline, carries the ball 10 yards, finds his normal strike partner, and Mbeumo quickly into the penalty area. Janelt had crept in there almost unnoticed. It's not the best of clearance back there for Sheffield Wednesday, but eventually they do get it away out towards the Brentford left, just inside his own half. Nudged forward by me, watches as Janelt comes deep. Janelt with Michael Smith just in front of it. Then away towards the Brentford left, looking once again for Keane Lewis Potter. Sheffield Wednesday grouping, working really hard. Damsgaard has to find Vandenberg, and once again me at walking pace. 10-15 yard pass to the left hand touchline. 1-1 with 15 minutes to go. Brentford forced back again. Sheffield Wednesday working prodigiously, but there's a line of 5 and then a line of 3, and 2 others dropping back in here to fill the gaps. Damsgaard into the penalty area, nearly slipped through to Damsgaard. Otibayo hooks it away for a Brentford throw. Which way is it going to go, Mark?
Oh, it's a tight one, isn't it? I mean, it could go either way. Both sides are certainly trying to push and trying to find that winner. Now the game's died up a little bit, sort of dropped a little bit in terms of Sheffield Wednesday dropping deeper again, what we've sort of seen for the vast majority of this game. And Brentford in more possession. However, we know Sheffield Wednesday can cause a big threat on the attack.
Very conservative in the first half, didn't have a shot on goal at all. A team that likes to counter forward at pace, and they did that to get the equaliser through Gassama. Bolton are 4-1 up in that League One game at Stevenage, by the way. Charles getting their 4th. Kemp, the solitary goal for Stevenage. Brentford in possession, 1-1, right-hand touchline, and Mbeumo stayed out wide all game long, looking for support. Ben Mee, he finds Ben Mee. Ben Mee pushes right foot to left foot, and then strives to pass out towards the left-hand side. Damsgaard cuts inside, flashes the ball through towards Whistle, went down in a crumpled heap. Whether the ball hit him at pace or he was nudged, I don't know, nothing given anyway. And then Damsgaard can't react and get to a lob pass as he closes it on the dead ball line, and it's a goal kick to Sheffield Wednesday. Goal at Southampton, Chris Wise.
Perhaps a late winner for Southampton. They lead Stoke by 3 goals to 2. James Bree, what an unlikely source for a goal. The defender from outside the box, low shot into the bottom corner. Huge relief for Russell Martin, I'm sure. Southampton 3, Stoke 2.
Came on at Manchester City at the weekend, Bree. They defended well there. Manchester City still created enough chances to win. Russell Martin saw positives after that. Lincoln thinking positively as they go 2-1 up against 10 men. Northampton have Roberts sent off. Ring with 2 minutes to go in that game. Southampton's Mads Roerslev has it. Just missed 1 league game so far, Roerslev. Played against Orient in the last round when they came from behind to win it. They've lost the lead in this game. Liam Palmer strokes a decent ball forward for Sheffield Wednesday. Comes back to him. Then he, on a diagonal, finds Patterson halfway inside the Brentford half, and he nudges a tired-looking pass forward then for Josh Windus, and it breaks unkindly for Sheffield Wednesday. Windus switched to the right-hand side. Smith, left-hand side of the main man through the middle. Jamal Lowe has now gone up to the left because Brentford have possession over there on the halfway line. And Brian Mbeumo worked really hard all game long by Marvin Johnson out there, but he's now dropped deep to open up a gap behind him. Brentford try and expose that gap, and Max Lowe crashes a clearance out to the far touchline, the M4 side of the ground. And the TV commentary position, you can see the traffic trundle past Often I wonder if they're speeding. Takes my eye off the commentary, but not that I'd snitch on anyone. But anyway, there was this Mercedes I saw the other day, but I won't go into that. And Brentford in possession now, away towards the left-hand side. 1-1. Moments to go. Here's Lewis Potter. Can't find a way through. Sheffield Wednesday clear it away. Whatever happens, what a tremendous performance they put in here tonight, Sheffield Wednesday, defending resolutely again to block the ball into the penalty area from Vandenberg. The cross finally comes in from Lewis Potter. Sheffield Wednesday 11 behind the ball, cleared away. Mee tries a crossfield dig. It's chested down here by Jamal Lowe. Jamal Lowe brings it forward for Sheffield Wednesday. Thought he was pulled back. I thought he had a case. Brentford have possession again. Here's Yano, left hand side, 5 yards in from the touchline, finds Lewis Potter rolling in off the line. Now Wissou's come to this side. Look at the strength of Sheffield Wednesday defensively, the resolve, the discipline back there. No way through for Brentford. They have to go all the way across the field of play, Mark.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, that was a big chance for Sheffield Wednesday to try and hit Brentford on their counter-attack. It was a perfect opportunity for Jamal Lowe to play Josh Windass through. He just held it on too long, and yes, he was claiming a foul, but I don't think there was enough.
Lewis Potter tries to find Wissou. Again, they clear it away. You know, when they went up from the third tier, it's a goal kick this, by the way, the third tier to the Championship, there were doubts. There was a lack of confidence even among Sheffield Wednesday supporters, especially when they started last season so poorly. He's made 9 changes here today. It's almost like a free hit then if they lose, because it's not his main team. But the fact he's brought in these 9 fringe players who've done so well against a Premier League team, it'll absolutely squeeze confidence into the group, won't it?
Yeah, very much so. And I think you can see that they're obviously a side that are very, very well organised, very well drilled, very well coached, because they've certainly played well in this game.
Northern Ireland against Croatia. Charlie Slater and Northern Ireland through.
Northern Ireland are through. 2-1 on aggregate. Bit of magic from Lauren Wade, but magic in South Wales. Wales have scored. It's 2-0 on the night. Long VAR check, overturned it. They are through as things stand against Slovakia. The hero of the evening, Kerry Holland. Drama in Wales.
2-0 on the night. And don't forget they lost that first leg 2-1 in Slovakia. England against South Africa in that friendly. Commentary continuing on 5 Live Sports Extra into stoppage time now. We're how long here? 10 minutes to go before we hit the denouement of this game. As that's given away by Damsgaard for Brentford. It wasn't particularly accurate or thoughtful as he cleared it away. He drove it straight into a Sheffield Wednesday shirt, but they've given it away now. Before they find possession once again through the excellent Max Lowe. Lowe and Johnson have been terrific. Otibayo has been very, very good. Patterson at the right full wing-back position, not let anyone down at all. But now they're under pressure. Whistle lays it off into the penalty area. Chance for Brentford to win it. And the cross shot is parried away. Pierce Charles shot very, very deep to parry the shot away. They were very nearly in there again with Sharda.
Yeah, well, they've done really, really well, Sheffield Wednesdays. Whenever they've been under that pressure, they've got players back in numbers. If the ball ever pops out, whether it's from the goalkeeper or from someone else, off a deflection, they're there. They've always been there to make that clearance. And again, it's just happened.
Giving so much Sheffield Wednesday, but will Brentford beat them late on here? They have a corner kick on their right-hand side. Far side from us, and Boomer will take it. I'll come into position low down in the main stand. And Bummo, hand raised, lifts it towards the far post area. Beat them all. Even the 2 big centre-backs forward, Collins 6'4" and Vandenberg 6'4", and it's away through for a goal kick. In a moment of reflection on what this would mean to Brentford go out of the competition. It's 1-1. They're on the attack. They're still favourites to go through. But Sheffield Wednesday if they were to win this.
Well, it'll be huge. I mean, firstly, for Brentford, Thomas Frank talked about the importance of this game and how they're going to play, a strong side, which they have played a strong side. I think at times they've probably, you would say that they've been a little bit too slow, and they've kind of probably taken the game at times almost too comfortably. And Sheffield Wednesday have then lifted, given one opportunity or created their own opportunity, took it, and the game has just completely changed. It's been turned on its head.
Here's Smith for Sheffield Wednesday, away outside the penalty area, facing the other way, pushes the ball for a brilliant driven effort from Marvin Johnson up from the back. The goalkeeper's flicked that over the bar, and it's a corner kick, and Brentford were wide open.
Yeah, it was, and it was a really good strike from Marvin Johnson from outside the box there. And Mark Flecken, he does throw his arm at it because I think he's not 100% sure, and it would have been a close one had it have gone against the crossbar or maybe just over it. He just wanted to make sure.
5 Live from the BBC, 6 minutes to go. Windus with the corner kick into the penalty area, looking for Smith, who couldn't get off the ground. And Brentford should run it away now with Sharda. Couldn't do. Damsgaard then lobs it forward to him, and they've got a 4-on-2 here. If it's played forward by Sharda, and Sheffield Wednesday could be in trouble. And Whistle is taken down by Patterson, but it's a terrific challenge. It's a brilliant challenge, because all of a sudden Sheffield Wednesday were wide open there. What a good challenge that was by the old man at the back. He's on the deck now. He's got cramp, and he's got every right to have cramp. The Sheffield Wednesday fans, you should be proud of him tonight. Playing as a right wing back. He's 30 years of age, for goodness sake, and he's been pounding up and back like a spring lamb. Well played Callum Patterson. And Stockport, by the way, they've beaten Reading 4-1, their 10th in League One. What a tackle by the man Callum Patterson.
That was excellent. Had to be as well, because like you said, there was certainly an advantage for Brentford. They had a 3-man advantage. He needed to get that challenge absolutely spot on, and he did, and it was a really good challenge.
Scottish international, dad's a Scot, mum comes from Zimbabwe, I think. Callum Patterson, his cousin, plays in South Africa. Michael, I think his name is. And here at G-Tech Community Stadium, he's turning a great performance for Sheffield Wednesday. So wholehearted. Atibayo will spin and diagonally lay the ball forward here then for Johnson for Sheffield Wednesday. Turned into a little bit of trouble, but had composure. Back to Lowe, 10 yards behind him. He's given away, squandered possession, driving the ball straight into the feet of Mbumo. We've got 5.5 minutes to go. It's 1-1. It's a free kick against Wednesday. They thought it should have gone the other way. They thought Mbumo had fouled his man. And a quick word there with the referee, but Will Finney's been excellent, I think, tonight, the referee. No VAR, got no safety net then. He's used his assistance very, very well. And they say the game can't be played without VAR. Done well here for Will Finney without VAR. And it's a free kick here for Brentford, and Damsgaard will take it. Game can't be played without VAR. Damsgaard will take the free kick. 1-1. 5 minutes to go. Damsgaard will hoist high for Brentford. Sheffield Wednesday are going to be beaten so very, very long later on. Up it goes into the penalty area. Up rose Vandenberg in there, claims a corner. Ball not out of play, I don't think. Pierce Charles has it. If he wasn't appealing for a corner, what was he appealing for? It wasn't handball. Didn't look like a foul to me.
No, I think he was claiming the ball may have gone out. The linesman was right on the line. He had a good view, and I think Pierce Charles just managed to keep the ball in.
Southampton edging through, 3-2 up against Stoke. We're heading to penalty kicks here. Damsgaard will lob it away for Brentford to the halfway line. Otigbayo comes to gather and head forward. They've got an attack on here, Sheffield Wednesday. It's Marvin Johnson into the penalty area. Lowe goes to place it. It's blocked and cleared away, but it's Sheffield Wednesday attacking again from the Championship against Premier League Brentford, who were unbeaten here, don't forget, in 6 games this season. Haven't lost here since Newcastle triumphed on the last day of the season. And now Brentford attack down the right-hand side. It's 4 against 5. It's Brian Mbumo. 20-yard crossfield ball to Lewis Potter. Tired touch. Gets inside Patterson. Got a nudge there. Stayed on his feet. Might have been a free kick. Chips it away towards the far side. Can they get the ball back into the middle from Roerslev? High cross through the penalty area. Yalowton waiting, but it's headed away by Patterson. And then the danger is relieved by a bit hoiked clearance by Michael Smith towards the halfway line. England have beaten South Africa in the friendly international. The Lionesses. Reaction from Vicky and Rachel after 10 o'clock here on 5 Live. Leah Williamson early on scored one of the goals for England, and then Grace Clinton got the second before South Africa pulled one back in the second half. Damsgaard for Brentford. That's a lovely crossfield ball, 20-30 yards right on the mark to the foot of Lewis Potter, who gets the crossing straight down the throat though of Pierce Charles. This 19-year-old playing only his 6th game for the club, and he's looked very mature back there. Brother of Shea, who's played for Sheffield Wednesday so many times this season. He's needed a rest here. We've got a full-time score from Chris Wise at Southampton.
And we have our first EFL Cup quarter-finalist, and it's Southampton. They've beaten Stoke by 3-2. They were 2-0 up. Stoke came back to 2-2 until that late winner from James Breeze. Saints 3, Stoke 2.
Relief at St Mary's. Good display though by Stoke, having an earlier comeback from 2-0 down to level it up at 2-2. Brentford in possession, deep inside their own half with Ben Mee. Passing out from the back has lacked quality at times, Brentford, but they've won the ball here once again. And Patterson, having been beaten in the challenge, dives in for another one, trying to win it back. Shuttling about in that central area before suddenly Sheffield Wednesday square to Marvin Johnson. Lovely ball into the box. Hit first time on a running volley by Josh Windass. And the ball goes out of play on the far side for nearly at the corner flag. Wouldn't have counted anyway because he's offside. And Josh Windass won't want to see a replay of his attempt on goal. And look at this. He's won it back fair and square, and then there was no help for him. So Damsgaard is on hand for Brentford to hit long up towards Visser. And again, Brentford haven't held it up front. And again, it's Sheffield Wednesday who have Patterson on the ball and a big diagonal away towards the far side. But Marvin Johnson's had an excellent game. Another veteran, 33 years of age. Started 7 of their last 9 games now. Plays infield towards Jamal Lowe. Lowe looks for a return ball. Lowe goes after it. And there was a misunderstanding there between Lowe and Johnson, who thought he was offside, so therefore couldn't get involved, and it's gone through for a goal kick.
Yeah, absolutely. Marvin Johnson was offside. He made his run in. He was waiting for that quick ball inside, and it just didn't come. And by the time it did, he was miles offside, so he did let it go.
Charlie Slater's got full time in that Wales-Slovakia European Championship playoff game.
There are tears in South Wales, but happy tears. Wales are through 2-0 on the night, 3-2 on aggregate. Kerry Holland scored the winner in the 114th minute. They're through to the final qualifier. We'll play the Republic of Ireland next month.
And one of those will go to Switzerland in the summer, live on 5 Live. There's a free kick here for Brentford because the feet of Miguel Gansler was taken away by Michael Smith. That's the first. Is that the first yellow card of the night? I think it is. And it's been fiercely competitive. And just remember the name of Will Finney. I mean, I don't want you to go to sleep at night dreaming of the names of referees or anything like that. That would be weird. But anyway, Will Finney, I think he's got a good one in the making here. I haven't seen him before, but I think he's had a very good game tonight, the referee. Yeah,
I think he's refereed the game well. I mean, I don't think there's been anything controversial. There's not been any tight calls. I think everything's been pretty spot on and what you'd expect from a referee.
There'll be a free kick here then. Damsgaard will take 5 Live. Approaching the 90-minute mark now. Winter stoppage time. In comes the cross ball into the penalty area. Half-headed away with 4 minutes of stoppage time to play. And an offside flag is raised on the far side. That's disappointing. But full time's coming in from the Football League. Lincoln have beaten Northampton 2-1 in League One. Bolton had that very good win at Stevenage 4-1. Stockport have beaten Reading by 4-1, and in League 2 10 minutes of stoppage time have been played. Fleetwood 2, Salford City 2 in that game. By the way, in the National League Cup Group D, it's finished Ebbsfleet 1, Tottenham 1. Tottenham youngsters. Well, we've had 40 seconds of stoppage time here. Smith has rolled his man to the ground. That was a little bit agricultural, I would suggest, Michael Smith, the way he fouled his man. The free kick is taken quickly. Did Sheffield Wednesday switched off momentarily? In comes across from Mbumo. Pressure relieved away. Good header away by Deschamps Bernard. Brentford push again. Here's Yano. Drills the pass too long. And Thomas Frank went almost down on his knees and turns away, exasperated, and then thinks about it again, and that's Thomas Frank all over. Exasperated, frustrated, turns and then applauds his team once more. And then as Sheffield Wednesday waste a few seconds, he turns to the 4th official down below us and asks Anthony Taylor what he's going to do about this. Fleetwood 2, Salford 2 as a full-time score. Salford's equaliser came from Okoronkwo 8 minutes into stoppage time. 5 Live from the BBC, keeping you up to date today. Tomorrow our commentary starts with Newcastle Chelsea. When that finishes, Tottenham Manchester City, which is on 5 Sports Extra in the first half, will switch across to 5 Live. And it's Liverpool, Brighton and Wolves Crystal Palace on Saturday for you. On Sunday, Spurs Villa and Manchester United Chelsea. More Premier League commentaries than anyone else on your radio. Then we get the Formula 1 coming up on Sunday from the Brazilian Grand Prix with Max Verstappen's lead. Is it impregnable, the lead at 47 points with 4 races remaining? Don't think so. Will there be excitement in the closing weeks of that campaign? Play on, says the referee, as Mbumo takes a tumble and Sheffield Wednesday have it. Centre circle, all in black, 1-1. That certainly is a foul on Josh Windass, who carried and waited for the frustrated Brentford player Janot to come in with a challenge. and so he did, and it's a free kick. If it goes to penalties, Josh Windus will take one. They really just haven't had that many penalties. I don't think they've had a penalty since they played Portsmouth in May 2023. Could be wrong on that. Maybe someone from Sheffield Wednesday will let us know. But anyway, here's Windus. Oh, that's straight down the throat of Flecken, so late on. How disappointed would you be here if you're a Sheffield Wednesday coach if Brentford score from this?
Yeah, that was a real waste there. Josh Windus in a great position there. Free kick, just overhits it completely and straight to Flecken. It was a really easy take for him.
Lovely to be working with Mark Schwarzer again here today. I remember commentating on him so many times for the radio back in the day when he was at Middlesbrough and Fulham. And it's going to be what now, Mark? A goal kick, or was it a free kick here?
It's a free kick, yeah. The referee, there's frustration on the Brentford players. The ball's not taken down the right spot. Mark Flecken's then taking it from the yard box. Referee's called it back. Now they're underway.
Ben Mee has it now. We've been playing a minute and a half already of stoppage time of the 4 allotted. Flecken has it. And now it goes in towards the right side of the defence. Rösler. Back to his centre-back. It's collected by Collins. Mee. Angles high towards the goal scorer for Brentford, Sharma. And the referee flags. He's blown here. Brentford thought they were on the attack and should have had a few more moments, but he's blown, and it finishes after the 90 minutes, 1-1, and we go to penalties, Gabby. No, Gabby? Cal, we go to penalties.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. Andy Reid has been watching this one as well. Andy, we said it at half-time. Jonathan and Mark said it themselves. With Brentford looking really comfortable after 45 minutes and the score only at 1-0, there was always the chance that this might come back to bite them, and that's exactly what happened in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you called it as well, Kelly. It's almost like you've done this once or twice before. Really good shout.
I just copy what the commentators say.
Sheffield Wednesday were excellent in the second half. I think they upped the intensity. They seemed to get a lot closer. They were a lot more aggressive in the tackle. And Brentford didn't have it all their own way. And they had some other chances as well. So I think fully deserved to get back into the game. It was a really, really good strike as well. Probably from a Brentford perspective, you would say nobody got out to close them down, which was disappointing from their perspective. But really, really good finish. They definitely deserve it. And now, you go into penalties, and it's a lottery, and they've got a really, really good opportunity now to get through to the next round, which would be a massive achievement. I think if Sheffield Wednesday go through and Brentford go out, Thomas Frank will be kicking himself, and he'll be pretty disappointed with them players with that second half performance.
Yeah, we know that there are Brentford players in that squad, Mark, who are really good at penalties. But to put themselves in this situation, having looked so comfortable, even now, even taking it to penalties, they'll be kicking themselves, won't they?
They will be. But, I mean, because it goes straight to penalties, if they get through penalties, it'll be a huge sigh of relief, and it'll be, right, OK, that can't happen again. That second half performance with the squad of players that they had, that shouldn't have happened. But we said it before the game started, even though Sheffield Wednesday had made so many substitutions, Brentford the clear favourites in this game, you can't take the foot off the gas. You can't come into the game thinking that it's almost won before you play the game. They did take that 1-0 lead, and it almost sort of like we're expecting them to go away and carry away and win the game quite comfortably, and it just wasn't the case. And then you allow the opposition to have one half a chance, they take it, all of a sudden there's a complete change in the mood of the game.
The penalties are going to be taken.
I'm going to ask you the...
Sorry, Kerry.
Go on, Jonathan.
The penalties are going to be taken at the Sheffield Wednesday fans' end, I think, which could be significant. Sorry.
No, absolutely, and absolutely relevant to the potential outcome of this one. I was just going to ask Mark my obligatory goalkeeper question. He always gets one of them every time we have this kind of conversation. I'm just looking at that Gassama equaliser for Sheffield Wednesday, and what you think, is the keeper just thinking he's too far out and kind of isn't expecting the shot?
Maybe. I think the minute he picks up the ball, he looks like he's only going to do one thing. He looks like he's going to have a strike at goal. And I think it was just a really well hit ball. I know it's from distance, but it has flown into that bottom left-hand corner, and Flecken is at full stretch, maybe from his angle because we're from the side, maybe from Flecken's angle, maybe he sees it slightly late, I'm not really sure. We haven't seen the replay from behind or behind the kicker. So it's one of those ones. It's a difficult one, and you're disappointed when you do concede from that sort of distance.
Brian Mbeumo is going to take the first penalty kick. Sorry, Kelly. He's going to. We're almost green for go here. Brian Mbeumo puts the ball down on the spot to take the first penalty of the night. They went out on penalties to Gillingham in round 3 2 seasons ago, and to Cambridge in round 1. Both times on this ground. And Mbeumo's walked forward very early, and he's had to wait quite a long time. He's against the teenager Piers Charles. Comes forward. Little stumble step, left foot high into the top right-hand corner, and Brentford lead on the spot kicks 1-0.
Brilliant penalty, that really was. And Mbeumo does really well. Slow run up, a bit of a hop and a skip, sends the keeper the wrong way, and then puts the ball on the roof of the net. I don't even think if Piers Charles went the right way, he would have saved it.
Sheffield Wednesday went out on penalties in round 2 last year, in round 3 the year before, out on penalties against Huddersfield in round 1 the year before. Is it going to happen again? Michael Smith comes forward, veteran striker, been here, been there, been everywhere, done it all, bought the t-shirt, brilliant goal on Friday at Portsmouth. He'll strike this right-footed, I think, from the run-up. He does. Wrong foot's the goalkeeper, Mark Flecken. Bottom left corner, 1-1 on penalties.
Another good penalty, really well struck. This one was with a lot of pace, and he does send Flecken the wrong way, and then just rifles it into the bottom left-hand corner. Interestingly for Flecken, this is going to be difficult for Brentford, because Sheffield Wednesday haven't had that many penalties over the course of time. It's difficult to have your research. It's difficult to know who would be the regular penalty takers, and also because there's so many changes in the Sheffield Wednesday side.
Brentford fans standing to our left-hand side. Nervy. It's going to be Keane Lewis Potter to take this penalty kick then for Brentford. His run-up is no more than 3 yards. This to put them ahead on penalty. Oh my goodness, Piers Charles nearly got it. He sprung to his right-hand side, but it's 2-1 to Brentford on penalty kicks.
I tell you what, we had 3 excellent penalties so far. That needed to be like pinpoint in that corner there. Lewis Potter really well struck, really good direction, and I tell you what, Piers Charles wasn't far away, like you said.
Well, Josh Windus has taken and scored penalties for Sheffield Wednesday before. He stands, black shirt, black shorts, hands down on his right hip, orange boots, stuttering run, takes it, puts the goalkeeper the wrong way, ball ends up in the bottom right hand corner. It's 2-2 on penalties after a 1-1 draw on 90 minutes. Damsgaard next up for Brentford, Mark.
Yeah, it's been an interesting one, this from Damsgaard, because I don't think he really has got in the game since he came on in the second half. He's been a little bit off the pace, and it's going to be interesting to see how he steps up to take this penalty.
He scored against Orient in that come from behind victory in the last round. The goalkeeper, Mark Flecken, all in yellow, gives him the ball, his own goalkeeper. Then Mark Flecken trots away behind the dead ball line. Damsgaard puts it down on the spot, and to me looks a little bit nervy. He's tall, he's lean, he's willowy, he studies the ball, he hits the ball. Oh, what a penalty, what do I know? Top left hand corner, brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant, absolutely amazing actually. Initially when it leaves his foot, I'm thinking this is going over, but it rifles into the top left-hand corner. That is a brilliant penalty.
Jamal Lowe now for Sheffield Wednesday. It is 16th club in a meandering career. Went to Wembley with Portsmouth in the Football League Trophy final. Hopes to get on the path to Wembley into the last eight of this competition. Can he level it up on penalties to make it 3-3 on slot kicks? Right-footed, that exploded into the net. Hit with venom, 3-3 on spot kicks.
Another brilliant penalty, giving the goalkeeper absolutely no chance. Flecken goes the right way, but the penalty struck so well again into that far right-hand corner this time, high.
It'll be Johan Wisser now, came off the bench, just back from an ankle injury a couple of weeks ago, was out for a month. So he didn't start tonight. Don't want to risk him with too many games in a short time. Just stretches back 3-4 paces in the run-up. Leans forward onto his left leg. Hits the ball right-footed. The goalkeeper goes the wrong way. And Brentford now lead 4-3 on penalty kicks.
Yeah, I think Piers James just gone a little bit early this time. Made up the mind for the whistle really easy. He's got his gone so early and also so far off his line. So it would have been interesting had he even saved that, had they have made him retake it, because he was a long way off his line.
Marvin Johnson been excellent all night long in a left wing back position for Sheffield Wednesday, and this will be a left-footed penalty kick. Dancing on the line is Mark Flecken. Johnson has a look at the goalkeeper, moves forward, and in off the post it might have been, but in it went, and it's 4-4 on spot kicks.
Again, brilliant penalty. Absolutely rifled it in. Real conviction and lovely pace on that ball. Flecken goes the right way. Just no chance.
Vitaly Janelt is next up then for Brentford. This their crucial fifth. They missed this. Sheffield Wednesday have got an invitation into the last 8. Can Piers Charles, this teenage Northern Ireland international, become Sheffield Wednesday's hero of the night? It's Janelt. Oh, he tickled it in. Goalkeeper went to his left. Janelt tickled it to the other side. It's 5-4 on penalties to Brentford, and the next man forward for Sheffield Wednesday will be their 33-year-old veteran Liam Palmer.
Yeah, it's a must goal here for Sheffield Wednesday. Have to score, otherwise it's over.
It's his 450th game for the club. Milestone. Moves away to the left of the ball, right-footed. Wristband is on his left wrist. Comes forward. Goalkeeper saves. Brentford through to the last 8 of the Carabao Cup, and Sheffield Wednesday not away. He would have wanted to celebrate that 450th game for the club. Liam Palmer. His penalty is saved. They came from behind to an early goal by Kevin Schade to level it up with a super strike by Jenny Gassam at the start of the second half. They had their chances, so too did Brentford, but it's on penalty kicks that it's Sheffield Wednesday through to the last 8. 5-4 on pens.
Yeah, it's a really good save from Flecken. Goes the right way. This time it gets enough on it. It's just that one of those penalties that's just not quite in the corner like we've seen with every other one that's been taken so far. And Flecken does really well. Good reaction, good save.
It's been a lovely night here, Kelly, I'll tell you, and Sheffield Wednesday fans can be proud of one or two of their players. The veterans, Patterson gave us all, and in this young manager, Danny Rawle, I think they have someone special. But they're out of the Carabao, and it's Brentford and their very special manager who go through.
Jonathan and Mark, thank you very much. High drama then at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Andy Reid watching on as well. Andy, I mean, you called it before the penalty shootout. Even if Brentford go through, they'll be looking at this more with relief than excitement.
Yeah, I think it is a bit of relief. I think there's always a bit of relief if you get through in a penalty shootout. Having said that, the quality of the Brentford penalties were absolutely incredible. Every single one of them was struck so well, placed right in the corners, most of them, other than I think was Janelt, who just rolled it in and sent the keeper the wrong way. But really good quality penalties. I think you can tell that they practice set pieces and the penalties involved in that. I would imagine a couple of them looked a little bit like some of the Ivan Toney penalties as well, so I think he's left his mark on some of the players that are still there. So a really entertaining game. I thought it was good, and I think Jonathan's right. Sheffield Wednesday can be proud of their efforts tonight, but unfortunately just fell short right at the last hurdle.
Yeah, the Brentford players doing their customary lap of appreciation at the end, but the Sheffield Wednesday players making their way over to their supporters, and they look, do you know that the players, I'm just watching them, Mark, on the screen, and they look really frustrated with that. They feel as though there could have been a real victory for them then. There was definitely the opportunity for it, but Brentford are through on penalties.